This week, in Peru, Indiana, a relationship between two unlikely people ends in rumors, finger-pointing, and finally, murder. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another spellbinding, insane, crazy, death-defying, not death-defying, because death happens, episode of Small Town Murder. Every single week, yeah. That's one thing that we can promise is death, unfortunately.
That's a consistency.
It's called Small Town Murder, so if no one died, you'd be like, what happened?
Well,
Where's the story?
Well, what shit is this?
It would be like if you went to a basketball game and they never took out a basketball. They went out, had a sandwich, hung out for a while, signed some autographs, and left. You'd be like, "Oh, that's great and all, but where's
that was nice of you guys.
Glad I got the autograph,
Where
but
the hell's the game?
Where's the game? I paid for basketball." So, thank you, folks, for joining us. We are super excited this week for a crazy episode. We are off the road finally, as you can hear in our voices. Probably the road is lingering on us.
It was tough,
and it was a hard one, but we had so much fun. Thank you so much to every single person who came out to those live shows, people who came to multiple live shows in multiple cities, people traveled from far and wide, and
people bringing unbelievable sweet gifts
for us. Thank you, guys.
So much thoughtful shit. You guys are amazing.
Honestly, you guys, as it was so hard to do that, every day in different cities and all that, and you guys really made it so you carried us through it. We'd get to the place dead tired and all that, and we'd see, holy crap, these people are like, they seem like they really want to show, and we would get excited, and energy would come. So thank you guys so much for that, for everything you gave to us, including your energy and your money too. Thank you. We appreciate that.
And being away from our families and people that are familiar, and then seeing faces of people that we've seen on social media, or people that
we've met before
themselves
from last tour, it was really nice.
Right.
Yeah,
and then telling us, because you don't see faces on Patreon and PayPal. So
it was
when
nice.
They remind us that they are so and so from there.
Yeah, we're like, holy crap!
It's
thank you.
pretty amazing to see the face, and for me to put the name to it.
It's great. Yeah, me too. I hear them every week. So thank you guys for doing that. Everything you've done there, we just appreciate it so much. If you want to do a little to help the show, and you didn't go to a live show, or even if you did, get on iTunes if you haven't done it yet, or Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Give us a review. 5 stars would be wonderful. Doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our ego. It's just to drive us up the charts. We're going to be switching platforms, just so you guys know, for the first of the year. That the first episode of the new year will be on a different platform. So unless you listen on the Podcast One app specifically, you won't be affected by it. It'll just keep coming in your feed like normal. But if you listen to the Podcast One app specifically, you're going to want to switch apps to something else, because we won't be releasing new episodes on that. Tons of different things. Just social media, ask people, Spotify, Stitcher. There's tons of stuff to get on.
They're everywhere.
Do that, but it's going to sound, it's worth it. The show is going to sound better than it sounds now, because we can release it at a higher bit rate now. So it'll sound like it did March when it was really nice there and crisp. And it's still crisp, but it sounds a little muddier than it should because of the bit rate. So that tech shit aside, do all that. It's a good time. Head on over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all things all things Small Town Murder. I haven't slept. We haven't slept in days, so this is going to be fun. We're good and punchy, and this is a crazy story, so we're going to have a really good time with this. It's going to be insane.
We landed Monday and haven't stopped moving since.
No, we've been recording.
I have slept 4 hours a night.
Yeah, 4. I haven't slept longer than a 2-hour shift since Thursday. I'm not even kidding. Since Thursday, I sleep 2 hours here, an hour on a plane, an hour on a floor. I'm a fucking disaster.
And then tomorrow night, I have to wrap Christmas gifts.
Oh, yeah.
I have to make Christmas happen.
Oh, I have 40 people coming over for Christmas Eve, dude. And there's no rest, man.
I'm going to sleep in 2019 at some point.
That's our goal. That's our New Year's resolution. So head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all things Small Town Murder and crime and sports. Don't forget about crime and sports.
Yeah.
Listen to it if you haven't started yet, because I'm telling you, take it from us. Yeah. We're vouching for our own show. Right. It's hilarious. You don't have to like sports.
It's fun.
Do that, all that good stuff. If you want to be a producer, a wonderful, fabulous, incredible producer who we're going to talk about at the end of the show, there's a link right here from our website. You can go to patreon.com/crime and sports or over to PayPal, make a one-time donation using our email email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Correct.
God damn it, every cent is appreciated. Thank you guys for everything you do for us. It means the world. We have to do the disclaimer quickly.
Right.
Very quickly, we'll do it a fast one tonight. This is a comedy podcast. We're comedians. The stories are real, but we're going to make some jokes. So
some sillies.
Bottom line, yeah, if that's not good to you, then you're not going to like the show. But what we are going to do is we go out of our way to try not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags. So that's awesome. We're going to have a good time if that sounds good to you. Stick around. If you think true crime and comedy never belong together and you're like jokes in there, then go listen to Dateline and enjoy it. And then you can hear them. They cut their head off and it was clean. But that's fine. It's good if that's what you want. We're not saying that's bad, but that's not what we are. So have a good one. And the rest of you, shout it out loud from wherever you are, unless you're in a cubicle in a very conservative office. Then go into the bathroom and shout it into a wadded up ball of toilet paper. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this.
Yes.
Let's go on a trip, Jimmy. What do you say?
I would love that.
Back on the road. Let's go. Well, we didn't go here, thankfully for us. We're going all the way to Indiana.
Okay.
We did this at some live shows here, this particular episode. So it's an interesting one. Yeah. I'm sure Jimmy's got it mixed up with the others, though. And be like, who's that? Oh, wasn't that? No, never mind. Clear your slate and let it fly right now. We're going to Peru, Indiana, which is strange. And Indiana, for some reason, has this thing about naming a lot of their cities after way better places and more tropical weather-wise, like tropical locations, as we'll talk about. There's a Kokomo. There's this. This is in Miami County. So they're out of their fucking minds. I don't know what they're thinking.
Just convincing people it's a vacation destination.
If we just name it places that people go, then they'll just get confused and book it here. And then they'll be like, oh, cool, it's Indiana. I'm happy with this. I thought I was going to Miami, but this is just as good.
Thought I was going to Kokomo. Is that Rick Smith?
Is that why is he here? What the hell is going on? I don't know what's happening. I see Rick Smits and Reggie Miller. That's the only two people in town. Just towering above everybody else.
This is very strange.
It's a very strange town. Peru, Indiana. And, of course, the pronunciation-wise, it is Peru, like the country. Even if it wasn't, it is.
Right.
Because there's way more people in Peru. So if you name your town after a place with more people, you pronounce it the way they fucking pronounce it. End of story. You don't get to make up your own pronunciation. But apparently the old people around here have to make up their own pronunciation. So they call it Peru because they're assholes.
It's stick in the mud.
What, going over to Peru? It's not P. Why are you extending it? Why make it longer? Why?
That's just hillbillies, though, right?
It's old people. It's old people, they say. I think it's just maybe the way they talk there.
I mean, they also call it a guitar. You know,
that's what I mean. It's more about. I think it's probably more about the rhythm of the speech, the actual like syntax of how they deliver shit.
It's how they remember.
Yeah. Now, the weirdest part about this in all my research, I'm talking murder, town, everything that I researched here. And this is a crazy story with a lot of shocking shit and like a weird twist and everything. And then this is the craziest thing I found. This here is Peru, Indiana, but there's also an Indiana, Peru.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
How's that even possible?
Okay, when we showed it at the live show, they basically have like a tiny arch too, like St. Louis, which is even sillier. They have no idea what they're doing down there. Why would you call it Indiana, Peru? Why would you do that? I don't get it. It's like a trade thing. I don't know.
Did Indiana Jones visit there once?
I think so. And he took a grail of some kind away from a cave. And he's the only guy never to get crushed by that big spiky ball, so they put up a...
He went as Harrison Ford. He just went as vacation.
Yeah,
and they were like...
Indiana Jones is there. He didn't even have his regular hat. He was just wearing like
a Tommy Bahama shirt.
Like a trucker hat pulled down over his eyes so nobody would bother him, and sunglasses, but they knew.
He probably crashed a plane there. I think he's crashed 2 planes
He has, yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
You know, well, he is 75 years old. Maybe it's a little time to take the fucking pilot's license away. What do you say?
There's a lot of crazy parts in that
There's
sentence.
A ton.
But, I mean, the craziest is that he's 75 and crashed twice.
Oh, and he's
after 70.
And nobody's like, maybe we should stop him from flying. They're like, well, yeah, he's Harrison Ford. Yeah, get off his plane. It's funny. Get him out. No, he's going to kill somebody. How about that?
Or himself, Jesus. And it'll be a national tragedy.
I feel like that's literally what it is. If he didn't say that one line in that one movie that time, he wouldn't have a pilot's license. They'll be like, take that away from that old bastard. Sorry. But instead, they're like, you can't do it. He's just going to tell you to get off his plane, and then you're going to laugh, and then that's going to be the end of the inspection. So never mind. Okay. Let's just fuck them. This Peru is in north central Indiana.
Okay.
And the town itself, the county's kind of a square, maybe a little bit of an L.
Yeah.
And it's right in the middle of it, so it's not in a panhandle, but the county looks like just a blood splotch. It's
a smattering.
It's a spatter.
Yeah.
It's just all panhandle.
Okay.
So it's pretty hard to live in this town and not be in a panhandle of some kind.
Not be a fuck up.
Yeah, it's not like a square town. It's definitely like it's drawn up, and there's like a one road that's part of the town, and then another little part of the town. It's totally gerrymandered. Like there's some congressman who's sitting somewhere, or some state representative of some kind that is elected because that's drawn up this fucking weird, like in between neighborhoods and
smiling his balls off. We cheated.
That's right.
We win.
So it's an hour and 45 minutes to Indianapolis if you want to go someplace, I guess, a little better, I suppose. 2.5 hours to Chicago if you want to go someplace a lot better than Peru, Indiana. Like I said, in Miami County, some balls on you. Yeah. This is a barren, fucking flat wasteland. There's no ocean.
It's frozen, for Christ's sake.
Frozen tundra and this Miami County. Good luck.
Perfect.
Zip code's 46970. Area code 765. 5.2 square miles, so not a huge town, not a tiny town. Problem is the motto of this town. It's got a couple. On their sign, they have one that's embracing our heritage, envisioning our future.
Beautiful.
Which is always a little creepy.
Yeah.
To embrace whatever heritage you have to embrace is a little weird. But
even embracing yesterday is a bad idea.
Yeah, who knows?
Today
you're
supposed to be better. That's like the rule, right?
Well, you use yesterday to figure out what went wrong and how you can correct it.
Be better today.
This place, the heritage that they're embracing is the scariest thing I've ever heard. Their motto is, quote, circus capital of the world.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Fuck my life. This town is out of their goddamn minds with the circus, which is, if you've listened to the show for a while, if you're a new listener and don't know, I despise clowns and believe they should be hunted in the street for sport. So, that's how I feel about this whole situation. So, I was just freaked out by this town. If you've listened to this show, you know that Baraboo, Wisconsin thinks they're hot shit.
They do.
They think they're in this, but they're not shit for circus compared to these people. Either way, I fuck circus capital of the world. I prefer Peru, Indiana, where everybody is terrifying.
Yes.
I think that's a better motto. And if you've seen these people, they are terrifying. They have parades that we'll talk about and things to do where everybody's dressed as a clown. They dress the kids up. It's creepy shit. It's creepy. Let's see a quick history here. In 1827, a guy named Joseph Holman bought land from the Miami Indians, more specifically the chief of the Miami Indians, who was a very, very white man named Jean-Baptiste de Richardsville.
How did he get voted?
He looked like somebody's grandmother, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we trust you with our land," which was a bad move because he was in charge of all of their treaties and like trading for land and shit like that and selling land, and. By the end of this whole thing, the Miami Indians weren't really around very much, and by the time Jean-Baptiste de Richardsville died, he was the wealthiest man in all of Indiana.
All of Indiana.
I feel like he might have been dipping a little bit into the coffers of these fine people.
Set up some deals that benefit him a little bit.
A little bit for him, because they weren't there, and he was with all the money. So it seems a little odd there. He had acquired more than 20 square miles of property along the rivers, which is super valuable.
Want it.
That's
20 square miles.
He took that shit for himself. Like all the good land, he would parcel that up for himself, sell the other shit, skim off the top. He was a terrible person. It sounded like.
That's incredible.
Yes. So obviously they also they save his house, and it's a monument and all that sort of thing because
he essentially owned a river.
Pretty much, the sides of it. Once you've owned the sides of it, you might as well.
It's your river.
That's it. Peru was founded, this town, in 1834 by William N. Hood, who bought 200 acres of land from Joseph Holman, who bought it from the Indians' white grandmother lady.
Yeah.
So, an account of the time of how it got the name Peru why would you name a town in Indiana, Peru?
What did you do this for?
An account of the Times says, quote, someone of the surveying party asked Hood what he was going to call his town, and he replied that he didn't care so long as it was a short name.
Yeah.
And they came up with Peru.
That's 2 syllables.
His name is Hood.
Right, that's
that
one.
So
you could
easy.
have just called it the Hood.
So done.
Bing.
Done and done,
It's
and
it.
you're out.
Yeah.
Instead, how about Peru? Yeah, that's not stupid or anything. Or they were also, how about Peru? I like it. How many E's? I don't fucking know.
2.
But, well,
1? I don't know.
Ask that he's lettered. Ask him.
So long as there's
Jesus.
a mark over that U.
Do that. Now, Frances Slocum was a little girl born here March 4th, 1773.
Or is it over the E?
It's the E, I think, is what we're going for. I think it's the E. Yeah, not
think
the
it
U.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
You said that, and I pictured it over the U, but the U where the E was, even though I know how the word's spelled because I'm reading it.
Yeah.
And I am not stupid.
I've seen it.
And it's still, well, I am, but I don't. I know how to spell Peru. I'm not that stupid.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
I saw it spelled out, and I was like, wait, it's over the second letter, I think.
I'm starting to see, like, Smurfs and shit. I'm hallucinating. I'm like Tom Hanks in the Money Pit. The Smurfs are here and the Care Bears. I'm losing my fucking mind. So, this Frances Slocum was born here. At the age of 5, she was taken from captured from the town by the Delaware Warriors in 1778.
Is it a basketball team?
No, that's yeah, they're really. It's an ABA team. They went defunct in 74, and they became the Kentucky Colonels.
Sure,
that's how it works. The Delaware Warriors. She was captured by 3 Delaware Warrior tribesmen there, and kidnapped and then returned when she was 65.
Perfect.
They were like, you know what? Never mind. Grandma forgot her apple pie recipe, so you can have her back now.
I don't think I've ever heard of a child fucking return 60 years later.
Especially an old lady.
Yeah.
Everybody was probably dead. They were like, who the fuck is this old bag that we have to take care of now? They're like, it's one of yours.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, her parents have been dead for a long time, probably. It's the 1700s, for Christ's
You're not
sake.
attractive anymore. Go
No,
home.
Not
Clean yourself up.
Come on, what's wrong with you? Grandma started shitting the pants again, and we're not having it this time.
We took you when you were 5 because you were taking care of yourself.
Yeah, now you're done.
Now we got to do shit?
Nope.
Get the fuck out of here.
Take a hike. Go back. So they just returned her.
That's hilarious.
Which is interesting. They had a car company here. The Model Automobile Company had cars here, and right around the turn of the 20th century, they started making them. Right around the time the circus came to town and gave this town its stupid, shitty identity. Now, a guy named Ben Wallace, who is not the center for the Detroit Pistons in the 2000s World Championship, great defender with the big afro. Not him, shockingly enough. Another man named Ben Wallace brought the circus to town in the late 1800s, and then a whole bunch of other circuses started making their winter headquarters in Indiana because they don't know how weather works. Apparently, I guess. So Peru had a bunch of different circuses: Ringling Brothers, Hagenbeck Wallace, Buffalo Bill's Wild West Show, which you got to see to believe there. Oh, my goodness. Jesus Christ. It was so into the circus that by the 1920s, maps printed didn't even have it listed as Peru anymore. On like state issued maps, it was called Circus City.
Wowza.
Which is worse than Circuit City, which is fucking terrible. So think about how bad that is. Circus City instead of Peru. Until the 1940s.
Which is a better name for a town, really.
Than Peru?
Yeah.
You just name in Indiana?
Yeah.
If it was in like Florida and they called it Peru, I'd be like, well, yeah, it's got a tropical feel. It's probably humid down there. This is Indiana. What are you doing? Nothing to do with Peru. So problem is, by the 1940s, the circus people figured out that there was warmer climates in the winter, and they all moved to Florida.
Wow.
So that was the end of the circus. That's the end of the circus for Circus City.
Sucks.
Now it's just like a dried up husk of a circus town. It sounds like a made up, it's a dried up husk of a circus town, like a bad 70s movie that they're trying to, it's awful. They have the International Circus Hall of Fame here. That's what they tried to do to revive interest. And it looks like a concentration camp.
Perfect.
I'm not even kidding, which, by the way, is the only thing scarier than a circus. is a concentration camp. That's the only scarier place.
That's amazing.
Only worst place. It seriously looks like it has smokestacks on it. It's the most awful looking place.
But James,
nondescript barn.
A Hall of Fame implies that there were achievements.
That's what I mean. What is it? Just Bozo, the first elephant who didn't crush a man with his giant foot? What? A picture of him.
Here's
Who's
a picture of Daisy the clown. Made the best balloon elephants ever.
That's what I mean. What is in there in the
ridiculous.
Circus Hall of Fame? The biggest asshole who ever lived. Here he is. Everybody, look at him. Oh, my God. So
sounds dumb.
It's very dumb. Maria Rasputin, who's the daughter of Grigory Rasputin, the Mad Monk. Right. If you don't know anything about Rasputin, I suggest a Time Suck with Dan Cummins episode on him. It's very informative and funny too. Listen to Dan; he's funny. So she was mauled by a bear in Peru while working for the Ringling Brothers Circus.
Did she die?
Survived. Well, think about her. You know what I mean? It takes more.
They don't die.
So this is some genetic shit. I'm sorry.
That's amazing.
He couldn't die. She's a girl, just a young girl is mauled by a bear.
Survived.
And she's fine. It's all right. No problem. She's like, God, Jesus Christ.
Excuse me.
He didn't have poison in his claws, pussy, and he's talking shit to him.
He slobbered on my face.
You know what my dad does? Pushes him back as he's walking away. Shoves him.
They should call the Hall of Fame a museum.
That would
Much
be better. Nope. Hall
Circus
of Fame.
Museum.
Like there's achievements happening.
It's like somebody did something that fucking mattered.
See, this guy, he's the best.
Right.
He's the best ever at what he does, this fucking guy. Forget about it.
The best fire eater ever.
Best.
Right.
You should see, when he made a fucking dog with a you don't understand. You could see its fucking emotions. He could make a tongue happen, you understand? And the rest of the dog would stay still, but the tongue would move. I don't know how the fuck he did it with a balloon. This guy was amazing. I'm telling you, he's a fucking genius.
You know that little knot at the back of the balloon?
He invented that. He invented that. It's called the dizzy knot. Because he's Dizzy the Clown.
I was going to say something way worse.
Sorry.
But that's hysterical.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I don't know why I thought you were
He invented the balloon knot. I was just going to say at the back of the dog,
he invented
that balloon knot looks like its butthole.
He invented making the balloon knot the dog's butthole. He invented it. And you look at it, you go, that looks like a fucking dog's butthole.
That looks like a butthole, am I right?
He was the one. People used to make it like a thing on the end of the nose, like it's nice and cute. This guy said butthole. I go for reality, mister. That's what I'm talking about. Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer.
Put me on the wall.
Man, we are punchy. And I love
Retire my makeup.
Wow. This is insane, man. This is insane. Holy shit.
Retire this face design. I do not want it on a juggalo someday.
No. This is I want it trademarked and put in the Hall of Fame. It's the only thing that's going to make this work.
Fucking hell.
Jesus. 1913, they had a massive flood. And this ruined the town. They had, in 3 days, they had 6 inches of rain, which doesn't sound like a lot. If it doesn't. But,
Peru's laughing at it.
Yeah, Peru was like, so?
We got that yesterday.
Oh, that's nice. I bet it was sunny for a couple hours in there. It's pretty good. Seattle's like pussies. It's like a fucking every weekend. But I guess if you're in a flat plain land, it's a little different story, and it messed up the town pretty good.
How long did it take him to get 6 inches?
3 days. So it seems even. I mean, even in the desert, we get that. And
we've gotten 2 inches in a day. We've gotten like 4 inches in a day.
We've gotten
before.
4 inches in about 3 hours in the desert, where the crazy monsoon storms, and there's huge floods also. But it doesn't do this. Before this, it was a busy town. They had activities, jobs, 15,000 people, 100 factories, a trolley service, railroads, a hospital, a brand new hospital, a circus that employed 1,000 people on the road, 1,000, which is a huge road show, and a concrete bridge which was the largest of the world of its kind in the world of its kind at the time, all destroyed by the flood.
Wow!
Many people died, and also a ton of circus animals died. So it fucked the town up pretty good and set it back a lot. 1933, John Dillinger came through town.
Excellent.
Famous criminal there. His gang robbed, this is a ballsy robbery. They robbed the police department armory. That's where they keep the guns.
All of them.
So that's ballsy. Yeah, that's what they're all. They got 1 Thompson submachine gun, 2 Winchester rifles, 2 shotguns, 4 .38 caliber revolvers, and a half dozen bulletproof vests. And that's what they got.
James, that's 9 guns.
That's 9, and 6 vests. And the fucked up thing is there's 12 cops. So do the math there. If you got a vest, then you don't need a gun. Right. Understand? You're what we're going to call the first wave.
You'll stop the bullets. Our boys will return fire. Don't worry.
When you drop, we'll be standing there ready to shoot, boy, and they'll never know what happened.
There's going to be volleys.
It's going to be something.
You better get down.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be back and forth. By the 1950s, they said, okay, we haven't had an identity for a while here. We're Circus City with no circus. We need to figure something out. So that's when they put up the International Circus Hall of Fame, which is ridiculous. And also, by 1959, they had trained high school students. I'm not kidding. Yeah. This is real. High school students to perform circus acts.
Nope.
That ended up being so popular to all the town folk that by the next year they started renting a tent, and every year they have the annual Peru Amateur Circus. I shit you not.
Nope.
Those words do not go together.
No.
Amateur and circus should never be mixed.
I want to watch amateur porn and everybody knows how to fuck.
Everybody. And no one's doing it on a trapeze on purpose.
Right.
Because if they were fucking on a trapeze, most of it would end with, and then they break their necks.
Right.
Which would not be a great video. You got to come before they break their necks. That's the video.
Stuff comes out of them, but it's usually guts and blood and all kinds of other stuff.
It's very scary. It's messed up, too, the way they recruit these kids. It's super weird. Also, Peru's the world's only remaining manufacturer of steam calliopes.
Perfect.
Which are metal tubes that make gas that comes out and makes music. It's like a musical fart, Jimmy, basically. You'd really enjoy the thought process behind it anyway.
Where do you put it at? Do you put it in your living room?
I have no idea. I saw the picture of it. It was like on a big cart going through town. I don't know if that's the only way you can perform calliope music. Yeah, it comes a model of Cadillac in the early 1910s, 20s.
The Cadillac Calliope.
The Cadillac Calliope came out. And
that's actually a great name for a car.
That would be a great name.
Escalade.
Yeah.
I mean, you could call this thing an Escalade.
The Escalade Calliope edition.
Yeah.
It's got like four metal tubes that make music coming out of the back. It would be really easy to have a personalized horn at that point. Yeah. You could just we could program it. Fantastic. People in this town, 11,060 people, down 14% since 1990. Can't imagine what they're running from. Maybe the fucking circus.
Probably.
Terrified. Median age is about normal. More males than females, which is never a good sign.
Never.
At a party, at an office, usually. Right. Wherever you are, if there's more males than females, it's probably a worse environment.
It's drab.
Yeah, because even the males, they're more aggressive then, and if there's more females, then they have to be on their best behavior because they want to fuck some of them. That's how it works. That's how nature works. Yeah, that's how nature works, everybody. So, or just be nice to them because you shouldn't be a monster in front of a lady.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice if everybody thought that, though?
I don't think that's how anyone thinks, though, unfortunately.
I'm certain.
A few people.
Yeah, there's several.
Try not to.
Yeah.
We try to be, and then again, we're doing this. So anyway, married population is lower because you're a bunch of clowns here to choose from. What are you going to do here? Single population, then obviously higher. Higher widowed population, I assume clown murders, obviously.
Probably.
Higher divorce rate. If you're married to a clown, how are you going to stay married to that shit? I would hope so. Race.
Eventually that fucking runs out, right?
I would think you'd be like, if you fucking squirt me with that seltzer bottle, one more. Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting it again. You're right. You always surprise me. That doesn't make it more entertaining for me. Just because I didn't expect, you got me. Thanks. Now I got to redo my makeup. Thanks, asshole.
Also, they probably
clown makeup.
Yeah. They also get divorced because she had the same makeup as you. I thought it was you, baby. Calm down.
I swear. Look, it's still on my balls.
All clown pussy feels the same.
You know that, honey. You know it. You know that.
Come on back.
Come on.
Come
baby.
here, Bubbles.
Move back in. I love you. So, Jesus Christ. Race of this town, about 86% white.
Yeah.
So, pretty white.
Yeah. Unless they took the census before they wiped the paint off.
That's who the hell knows then at that point. Anything could be. Well, let's look at it here. 9.47% black. Who would know?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have any idea if it was all clown makeup. Well, here, 0.14% Asian. That's probably accurate.
Yeah.
Because even... And fuck you. That's not racist. That is, you can tell an Asian clown.
Yeah.
Sorry, but that's life. If there's 100 clowns and one of them's Asian, you're going to go, that's the Asian one. So, I mean, you wouldn't know. I don't know the black one or white one or, that guy's an Arab guy or I don't know any of those. But, That guy's Korean, for sure. I can tell that right now.
He tried to draw round circles, and it's still obvious.
Yeah,
still obvious.
Sorry, you're Asian, sir. But you're doing a wonderful job. And
keep juggling. That's amazing.
Hey, you can be an Asian clown. Go crazy. You could be the best damn. You could be end up in the International Circus Hall of Fame. And put a little of that international spin on it now. It won't just be a bunch of clowns from Indiana. Anyway, 1.68 Hispanic, so it's pretty goddamn white. Let's just say that. Religion, 36.8% are religious. I'm not sure if circus counts, but 14.6%, the largest total group, is other Christian faith, which I assume is Clown Jesus. That's all I can think. Just up on the cross, barbed wire around his little honky squeaky nose there, the red one.
Oversized sandals.
Big oversized sandals. His feet are fine. His just big floppy sandals are pinned to the thing. This is our pre-Christmas episode too. Yay. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all. Isn't this wonderful? 0.0% Jewish in this town. No thanks. All that crazy clownness. 33% of people in this town voted Democrat in the last presidential election, 64% Republican, which is strange. I wouldn't think clowns would lean right. Like, keep that baby in your pussy. Honk, squirt all over there. Pedals away. You're like, the fuck was that? How did that happen? Jesus, you'd think they would be, open to suggestion.
A little nicer at minimum.
Something, I don't know, or just not really care what anybody else doing. Look at what a loon you are. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't care what anybody. Stay out of people's business. So
I see Hugh Jackman as a super racist, whipping a clown in a tutu on a fucking unicycle.
A clown in a tutu?
Oh, no, a bear.
Oh, a bear. Okay, that's fucking fun.
On a unicycle, screaming "fuck women" and other racial epithets. What is it? Epithets?
Epithets, yeah. He's like screaming how it's the greatest show on earth the whole time. It's the greatest show on earth, and y'all know it.
I'd watch it.
Fuck women.
Fuck black.
So
keep pedaling, pussy.
Let's do it. Come on. Fuck animals. So anyway, household income here is low. $53,000 is the national average. Mm-hmm. Here it is about $33,000. 22% make under $15,000 a year, and way less people than are supposed to make over $150,000 a year. Yeah. So it's not very...
You're saying the circus pays peanuts. That's what you're saying.
Son of a bitch bastard. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jimmy. I'm saying I want to kick you right in the dick for saying it. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. You son of a bitch bastard. That's what my grandmother would say if she was mad. You son of a bitch bastard. Chase me around. Cost of living, overall 100 is even par normal. Here, 78 is the cost of living, and that is super low because of housing. Yeah. The housing cost here, median home cost, $72,200.
Oh, boy.
Very, very low. Half the houses are worth less than $60,000 here. So if we've convinced you that all you can do to better your life and make a better time for your family is move to Peru, we have for you the Peru, Indiana Real Estate Report. Your average two-bedroom rental here is about $630, which seems like too much.
That seems steep.
There's going to be clown DNA all over that place. I don't want that.
You can get a free house almost.
Why pay that? I found a four-bedroom, two-bath, 2,358 square foot house. It's like kind of rough. It needs a remodel, but it's $69,000.
It's a deal
for 2,400 square feet.
That's crazy.
So that's crazy. That's the big house.
They're crazy.
It's crazy. Come on down to Crazy Peru's. Crazy clownies. We're giving away houses. I found a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,456 square foot house on 5 acres. I will say, as you saw in the pictures in the live show, the wallpaper, the same wallpaper runs through the entire house.
Oh boy.
Living room, kitchen, bedroom, closets, everything. It's the scariest thing you've ever seen. $115,900 though for 5 acres. And then I found a 7-bedroom, 9-bath brick mansion with its own entry gate, and it's called Carriage Manor Estate. estate. It's a manor and an estate. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
That's a lot of house.
11,054 square feet.
Wow.
$3,999,000 though. So $4 million worth of Indiana.
Yeah.
It's a little too much.
That should be all of Indiana.
That's pretty much it.
Minus Indianapolis. You should be able to buy everything in Indiana except for Indianapolis.
Except for Rick Smits and Reggie Miller. Right. That's the only two guys you can't own. There are only two things you can't own. Because they're like wards of the state. I look at it like
they should be.
They're like, listen, guys, I'm sorry, it's a national security almost thing. Is no one else will come here unless you're here. So it's kind of like how I think like Kirby Puckett and Prince belonged to Minnesota, just the state. They did something. They got caught doing something. They murdered a woman in like their teens. And they said, listen, you're very talented. We own you now. It's either that or state prison. So you take your pick. And it turned into like some weird movie where they have to be commandos to win their freedom.
Get out there in your purple shit.
Go out there. Right. Come on, dance around. Things
and then
to
probably
do.
Andrew Luck too, huh?
He's not going anywhere. Sorry,
like,
they bought him from Stanford.
Yeah,
lock, stock, and barrel. They said you're ours now. We bought you.
You're here forever with that weird overbite that you have.
Peyton Manning bought his way out of it somehow. I don't know how he did it, but he ended up buying his way out of it.
Yeah.
So things to do here. Third week of July is the Peru Amateur Circus, which is frightening. All performers are ranging in age from 7 to 21.
Yeesh.
All performers, which is the scariest thing ever.
21's the cutoff.
The cutoff. And their pitch is, quote, no child is turned away from participating. They're not just looking for the talented who can shine. Of course, there's that, but everybody is allowed in as long as their age is 7 to 21. Yeah. That is also NAMBLA's pitch. They just copied and pasted it from their website, probably. Just looking for children.
Namble and John Wayne Gacy. Same people.
Same thing. All the same. Property crime rate in general we'll talk about here. Property crime is about 20% under the average. And violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about half the average. Okay. So it's a pretty safe town. Plus the clowns, I assume, once you kill a clown, it's pretty anonymous, maybe. Just leave a clown corpse in the street. And nobody cares, probably, is the other thing. So they don't count them as real deaths, I would assume.
They shouldn't count them as real people. So.
No, I don't think so either. No, clowns are not people. That's the lesson here, is they're not people, and they shouldn't be treated as such. So murder, let's talk about that here in this town.
I would love to.
A murder that happened here.
And now back to the show.
So the murder in this town. Let's start with one of the players here first off, and this is different. There's a very brief appearance of a trailer, but it's not the murder scene. There's very little white trashery here. It's a different type of story. So it's a change from the last few weeks, where no matter how hard I've tried, I cannot find interesting stories that don't take place in trailers in certain states. It's just the way it is, and I don't understand it. So
what the fuck, Oklahoma?
God damn it, Wyoming, get it together. So. We'll talk about James Grund Jr. first. Junior, right away, if you're a crime and sports listener, you're a little
spider
senses. Your ears came up and went Junior. Oh no! So let's give him a break here. Let's not jump to conclusions yet. Jimmy, as he's called, he's born 2 days before Christmas, so that is December 23rd, coming up soon here, 1944, and he is a legal legacy in this area. His father's the county attorney. His grandfather was an attorney. His uncles are all attorneys and judges, and very prominent. His path was paved before he was born.
Beautiful.
The second he came out and they said it's a boy, they said they slapped a law school sweatshirt on him and said, "Oh, good, he'll follow right in our footsteps." And he never had a choice in the matter.
He didn't go home in one of those onesies. He went home in a baby robe.
He went home in a robe,
black robe.
a little plastic gavel, was his only toy. One of the ones that squeak when you hit things. That's the only toy they gave him. He just ran around making judgments
one day, sir.
On shit. He graduates from Peru High School in 1962 and then goes to college and also law school after that at the University of Indiana in Bloomington. So he's going to stay pretty local. It's about 2 hours away. So that's not too far. During his sophomore year of college, he meets a woman, as one does. It's 1965. So this is like a very it's right between a couple of different eras. It's right. It's just very, but 65 is a weird time to be in college because there was a lot of very square, like 50s shit going on still. And then the kind of not the hippie movement, but the kind of pre-hippie.
Like Elvis Presley stuff.
That's the 50s.
All dead now,
that's the dorky 50s shit. And then there's also like this other thing coming on, like LSD. If you were, I don't know if in Indiana, but like if you went to Berkeley, you knew about LSD in 65 and shit like that.
I guess that's true.
Shit started coming around right around that time.
I see that in like 1970 because I'm dumb.
Well, the late 60s is when it was culturally everywhere, but it was still legal in California, I think, till 66.
That is a weird time in America.
It's a weird time. Like that's when the Hells Angels were a big deal. Like they became like people were like, what the fuck is this? They were in Life magazine and all that. Hunter Thompson wrote Hells Angels book. Like that's 65 was their peak of like shooting into the popular culture. So it's a very, very weird time, very transitional time would be the best way to put it. 65. So he meets a woman named Jane, but they're very traditional. These two, they're not. It's Jimmy and Jane from Indiana,
which is like sweaters in their closet.
Sweaters, and it's a Mellencamp B-side where he just said Jimmy and Jane too alliterative. We need a Diane. There we go. Done. And fuck Jimmy. Jack. It's got one syllable.
It's got a run.
Jimmy's too Jack. That's it.
Can't go Jim and Diane. That sounds,
Jim and Diane.
That sounds like 50-year-old people.
I'd like the second name to have more syllables. So Jack and Diane, so I can hold that second syllable. Then okay, good. Now that's better.
Now we're going. And a 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Thanks, Jimmy and Jane, for the inspiration, and then they get no money. So that's how that works.
Sorry, fuckers.
Sorry. That's how it happens, man. So they get married within a year of meeting each other in college because she gets pregnant with his baby.
Yeah,
so that's how that. Well, I mean, at least you don't know. Who knows? Jesus Christ.
Good point.
Who the hell knows at this point?
College.
We don't know these people too, and on our stories, for half the time, who the fuck knows? It might be her uncle's kid. Who the hell knows? Who
it might be John Cougar Mellencamp's
It might be John Cougar Mellencamp. In this show, you never know. In this show, at any point, John Cougar Mellencamp could knock up one of our story participants, and it's highly possible. That could be part of a story in the future.
We brought him up so many times. I've gotten emails about both sides of his life, that he is a nice guy and that he's a piece of shit. But one thing for certain is that his son's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that
a million times.
Everybody keeps saying that.
Whatever they say about Mellencamp, the follow-up is his son sucks.
By the way, his son, total asshole.
And he's with that blonde chick from Sleepless in Seattle now.
Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
She's
that's
pretty
the name.
That one. That blonde chick. She's in that one movie. Not every movie for 15 years. She was the lead in every movie for 15 years. Because she was.
From Inner Space.
For that, which is my honestly favorite.
My favorite
Meg Ryan is Inner Space. Yeah. Or I got to say also.
That's the one.
That's the one. What is wrong with me? I'm so tired. Billy Crystal, the fucking...
Yeah, that one. Not Sleepless in Seattle.
God
it's the
damn
other one.
You don't fuck with Mr. Zero. What the fuck is the goddamn... When Harry Met Sally,
yes,
God damn it.
It.
She's good in that. Anyway, she plays a good kind of stuck-up woman in that. And lots of other things.
She's great in Inner Space because it feels like...
She's kind of wild and fun and kind of like...
She's enjoying acting.
Yeah, she looks like she's having a good time.
She knows it's a goofy movie.
Yeah, I think Martin Short's probably seems like he was fun to be around before his wife died. Now he doesn't look so fun to be around. No offense to Martin Short. I'm sure he's very depressed, but if you see him in interviews now, he's just the light has gone out of his eyes.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, he loved his wife, and he says that's the problem, and that's... But I mean, Jesus, come on, Martin.
Funny the way you phrased it.
I mean,
even that Netflix thing with him and Steve Martin, it's a little depressing.
His is a little sad.
You could see that
he's not the same guy. He's just not.
You could see every moment.
That's not a critique.
No,
I get it. I mean, mentally, I don't know.
He's having all these memories about his career, and he wants to say, "And my wife was there," but he doesn't want to say "my wife" because he's going to fucking start the waterworks.
Steve's finally going to go, "For Christ's sake, she's dead." Marty, Marty, she was a great woman. I thought she was fat, but you got to fucking get over it, pal. This is getting depressing, buddy.
How long's it been, Marty?
It's a goddamn comedy show, buddy. At the end of the day, we're trying to make people laugh.
Steve Martin should just stand up and be like, would somebody blow the man for Christ's sake?
Jesus Christ, somebody just put an arrow thing on his head and go, there, Marty, go dance around for a while. Do that dance that you used to do on Saturday Night Live.
Somebody sit down and blow the little fella.
Jesus Christ, yeah, come on.
You don't got to get on your knees to blow Marty Short.
No.
You sit crisscross applesauce to blow Marty Short.
His little Canadian cock comes flopping out, and that's it. Not that his cock is little because he's Canadian. He's
just that he's a little guy.
He's just a little childlike man. By the way, I love Martin Short. I don't know where that came from. He's given me
pounding on him
so much entertainment from and pounding on him from a place of we feel so bad for him because clearly his wife's death is affecting his, and we feel awful for him.
We want him to be the Marty that we love.
So now we're going to rip on him, unfortunately, like idiots because we love him a lot. So sorry about that. Sorry, Martin Short, because we know he's obviously an avid listener.
Yeah,
clearly
this is his favorite show.
He's always talking to us. Hey guys, if you could shout me out, that'd be nice.
Really,
we're like, come on, Marty, calm down, big guy. We get it, but
you gotta fucking get on PayPal, Marty.
Yeah, sorry, Marty. Yeah, you get on Patreon. You get a shout out at the end of the show. Otherwise, we can't help you, Marty.
Nothing for you.
Sorry. So,
Three Amigos was great.
Jimmy and Jane, Three Amigos was wonderful.
The best movie that him and probably the best movie he was ever in.
Wow, man, that's a tough one.
He wasn't even supposed to be in the movie.
No,
and then he got in.
Yeah,
and it made the movie.
Yeah,
so good.
He was ridiculous, and then obviously you have Steve Martin, who's the base of everything,
the best.
And then everyone hates Chevy Chase. So,
there is going to be some amazing things, revelations coming out about him. Brace yourselves.
Oh, I'm sure he's an awful person that's done horrible things. But all those things have already come out about him. That's
it's going to be worse.
Have you ever? There's an SNL book about 20 years of SNL or 30 years. Whatever the fuck time it came out, and basically everybody just talks about what a complete piece of shit he was. He fucking made the gay guy cry in the mid 80s, fucking making fucking just horrible, making like mean gay jokes at him, like in the middle of the writer's room. And he's a terrible person in general, and not just for that. I mean, Bill Murray punched him in the face right before he went out to fucking host. Literally, they were going
do to make Bill Murray
your host Chevy Chase, and when he came back and they were fighting and they had to be separated. Bill Murray's not that kind of guy. No. He literally he attacked him. He's such a terrible person. And I always take Bill Murray's side. If there's a beef and Bill Murray's on one side of it, I don't really need to hear the other side of it. I'm on Bill Murray's side.
That's the side I believe.
So
the stories that you're going to hear are about his most recent job that he had that was huge, high profile job.
Community.
Yes.
It's
going to be. Yeah. As long as the man that was the victim sticks to his guns, and he damn well should, because he's probably a bigger star than Chevy Chase right now.
Well, interesting.
Much bigger.
We'll see how that unfolds.
I hope he does.
Let's see. Well, never mind Chevy for a moment. Okay. Let's get back to Jimmy and Jane. Mm-hmm. Jimmy and Jane are married in 65 because Jane gets pregnant. Yeah. A daughter is born in 65 to them, and they name it Jamma.
Oh.
They named this poor young lady Jamma. Jama.
Is that like James Jr. as a female? What is that?
That's what they're going to call Chutney next.
That's what that should be.
They went from calling it like a jam to a chutney now because that sounds fancy, and it'll be Jamma next. So she's born in July 65. 5 years later, they have a son. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they're just lockstep, kind of, middle America 60s values here. Sure. They have another son. They have a son in 70, and his name is David. Yep. And Jamma is always mad at David because
she hates him.
She probably tried to suffocate him when he was a baby. David, they couldn't name you something ridiculous.
It's mostly she's reminded every time they take a road trip and they stop somewhere and they have those dumb little things with everybody's name on it, and she's not finding shit.
Wait, the license plates?
Yeah, there's license plates or the mugs.
Like, there's always plenty of Davids.
They're everywhere.
She's going James. It's going to be before James, but after. God damn it! Never mind. Shit. Damn it. They have Irma before me.
Yeah, what is this?
But they don't have. Okay, never mind.
They got Irma, but no fucking Jamma.
No Jamma. So that's the year that in 70 Jimmy Grund graduates from law school, and he is ready to start practicing law. They return to Peru. The family, Jimmy and Jane, and Jimmy, Jane, Jamma, and David, all return to Peru, where Jimmy finds a job right away. It's pretty easy for him to find a job because his father is serving at the time as the county prosecutor.
Okay.
So Jimmie steps right in from college to being the assistant county prosecutor. Just
lucky dog.
Whole life is just a big. Whole life is Christmas vacation toboggan thing. Just
sliding,
just
but
right
with a
down.
smile,
greased track and happy as can be. Chevy Chase was happy in that
for a minute.
Yeah, for a minute. So yeah, he's this all goes down. They move back there. He's working for him. He works from 71 to 78 as the assistant to his father, as the county prosecutor. Then Jimmie, once his father retires in 78, he takes over as the county prosecutor.
Son of a bitch.
The whole life is just, there's a guy in front of him with a machete just whacking a path. No, come on. Is that not smooth enough for you? Wait a minute. Let me hack that down a little better.
They personally have Harrison Ford guiding them through the fucking life jungle.
Make sure no thorns get him from the bushes on the side. Really want to get a wide path for him.
Right.
He needs a wide berth, everybody. Hack it down. So he becomes the county prosecutor. So that's a pretty prominent position.
Yeah.
He serves as county prosecutor from 78 to 82, which is not too bad. And we'll find out what happens in that time because his life kind of changes a little bit on a personal level through that time. Now, for a guy who's been just kind of shoved down a greased up tube of life, basically, just shot right through it. He's got to have some kind of release because you can't just go along with what your family does and do all of that. He likes to drink quite a bit. Not to the point where it's a problem professionally or anything like that.
It's a party.
But to the point where he buys a bar because it's cheaper and easier. It's the bar he hangs out at all the time. One day he's just like, why don't I just buy this place? How much? And he just wrote the guy a check. And bought the bar.
Like a guy that smokes a lot of weed, just like buying. Yeah. I'm going to start selling.
I'm just going to start selling. It's just easier. Just gives me free weed. Right. I think that's basically what he did.
Norm bought Cheers.
Norm is buying Cheers. Yeah, because he's like, Sammy, what do I owe you? And he just goes, well, how much would you take for the whole thing? All right, well, that's pretty close anyway. Here you go. Mine. I'll just take the bar instead. He also has a pilot's license and has a plane, and him and his buddies are always going up north on fishing trips all the time, and, he's drinking at the bar. Living it. Shockingly, this affects his marriage. Weird, right? You wouldn't imagine. He's drinking at a bar so much he has to buy it, and then when he's not drunk, he's flying his friends off to do fishing trips, so... Shockingly enough, his wife's upset about this, home with two kids. So she ends up, bringing up this and how they have problems. And by 1980, they get a divorce.
Jane's had enough of this shit.
Jane's had enough of this. The Cougar Mellencamp record shattering on the ground. Just it's all going to hell right now. He's got a sledgehammer to that white picket fence right now. And
she's painting this pink house blue.
Well, you would think so.
Yeah.
Problem is, and this is the most insane thing ever, problem here is they get divorced in 1980, but they say that for the sake of the children and for economical reasons, they decide to stay living together.
Nope.
No.
Why would he do that?
No.
Economic. No, just the money's worth it, sir.
If you have to eat McDonald's every night and sleep on a deflating air mattress, it's worth it. Trust me, because I ate McDonald's and slept on a deflating air mattress, and I just, as my body lowered to the ground every night, I was just saying this is a very good decision that I've made. I'm very happy with this. I don't mind falling. Nope, I'm going to sleep directly on the floor and flat. Perfect.
That's when you wake up.
I did the right thing.
No alarm clock needed.
No.
As soon as you feel the cold linoleum, it's time to wake up.
I'm up. Here we go.
Let's get this day started.
Dude, this is insane. And the fucked up part is you're all sitting there going, oh, okay, we're getting right to the murder. Nope, this isn't the murder. This is not the murder part. You would imagine these people are going to kill each other. Someone's going to die. It's shockingly no. Problem is this arrangement lasts until the summer of 1984, when Jimmie finds another woman. And it starts out as a joke. His friends, he's got a bunch of cop buddies and other prosecutors. They basically, I assume it looks like the end of the opening credits to Law and Order every week, where they're all like heading off to some bar to loosen their ties, open up one button and have a couple of drinks there.
And laugh at whoever they just put away.
That's it. Laugh at whoever they just put away. These guys set him up with a woman as a joke in a blind date. And we'll find out why it's a joke in a minute. But the woman is a woman named, well, we'll start out in her beginning. We'll tell you what she's named when he meets her in a second. She starts out as Sue Ann Sanders. she's the complete opposite of him. He's had his whole life in just like we said, a yellow brick road, a greased up yellow brick road with people pushing him in a cushy wheelchair,
paved with smiles and sunshine.
Yeah, when he got he's a sophomore in college, gets a woman pregnant. There's no and then he dropped out of college and got a job. It was nope. His family took care of it, no problem.
Dropped out of high school, dropped out of college, took a job at Walmart, and worked his way up to regional manager, and spent his whole life paying off student loans for an education he doesn't even have.
He doesn't use, and then the story would then take place in a trailer.
Right.
But for this one, different thing completely. Sue Ann Sanders, total opposite. Yeah. Now, Jimmie Grunn's born in 1944. She's born in 1958. Yeah. She's almost 15 years younger than him, too, like the way the months work out, which is, she's completely the opposite. She's raised wrong side of the tracks. Okay. She is one of 7 children, which, unless you're like, one of the Duger family or something, that's usually a case of poor planning. Yeah. You usually don't see people that are just like, everyone's a blessing. Every goddamn one that comes a blessing, and we're trying to have more. Yeah. That's not the normal. It's normally like, tie your tubes. I'm going to cut my nuts off. I don't care. Fuck me. God damn it.
6 years of being pregnant.
That's a lot of pregnant.
So much time.
That's so much pregnant. Her mother dropped out of school. Her mother's name is Nellie, Sue Ann's mother. She dropped out of school pre-high school to work on the farm, work on her family farm as a child. So undereducated and under-economicked she is. That's not a word. She's underfunded, we'll call her. And her father is an abusive alcoholic steelworker.
Sounds right.
So, a tough guy with a firm handshake.
You betcha.
That gets home, gets drunk, and starts beating the shit out of anybody within arm's reach. So this is a bad cocktail to grow up under. This is the total opposite of Jimmie, who had it made. Yeah. Her father, like I said, very abusive. She wants to get out of here but not even like in high school. Like, can't wait to get out of this town.
Prontissimo.
Yeah, she is 9 being like, how do I get out of this goddamn town? Yeah. I don't want to be poor. She sees that there's other people in town. They're from the same town. So she sees there's another side of town with people with money and that are stable, and she wants to be part of that always. And she feels like she's got to get out of this town or else it's never going to happen for her. Good thing for her, and what she thinks she can use to her advantage is she's a good-looking young lady. Beautiful. And she says, well, I don't have money, I don't have education, I don't have anything going for me like as a societal advantage.
Well, check out these tits.
But I'm going to use what I have, my assets that I have to get out of here, which, good for you, whatever you got to do. And
do it, girl.
Yeah, I mean, she also has some fun, too. I mean, good for you. She grows up in the 70s, whatever, and whether it's now or then, who gives a shit anyway, but she's a little bit she's into the boys to the point where she I don't know if earn is the right word, but she receives a nickname from the boys as a sophomore in high school when she's 15. They dub her, quote, one night stand Sue Ann.
Not bad.
It's mean. We don't want anybody to do that, but for sophomores, that rhymes.
Pretty incredible.
It's pretty intelligent for sophomores.
I'm impressed.
I mean, it's shitty and a shitty thing to do, but I'm impressed they rhymed.
Right. My big swing was just like whore. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. When you were in 10th grade.
How dare I judge somebody for being so sweet to people?
I was going to say, and not to you is really the main thing.
That's basically what it is.
You never said that to a girl who
who sweetly and gently took her own bra off in front of me.
That's kind of you're digging into the inner psyche of a 15-year-old boy, basically. Not necessarily what they display to the outside world or what they're proud of enough to tell people, but what's in their brains. It's a reptile brain.
It is horrible.
That just wants to fucking stick it in things. So you have no idea what's going on inside it. If the 15-year-old boys are a disaster. They really are.
They probably are the worst human beings on earth.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, when I was 15, I should have been probably locked up for myself and everyone else's safety, I think.
The lucky part is that they aren't quite the most part of them aren't quite mature enough or strong enough to like go act out what they want to do. But some of them are. Yeah.
You just have to hope that they do enough drugs at that point or
to repress it all,
and before their brains close, and then they locked into that, and then they're just burnouts. At least they're not aggressive aggressive, though. You got to hope that happens and hope it doesn't turn to anger and get worse.
But boy, the thoughts that they have, they are terrible.
It's terrible. Yeah, 15-year-olds, awful people. We were there. We were awful people. So she gets this nickname, which she's not happy about.
No.
I don't fucking blame her. Yeah. No young lady there wants to be called fucking names, especially for... I'm sure the guys weren't calling her that at the time.
Right.
Sure, they were real nice to her.
I'm sure they were very sweet.
Until afterwards, and then now she's got a nickname. So
or until she didn't fuck them.
I always find, that's the thing. Yeah. This wasn't from guys that she...
No.
That's what I've never... I couldn't imagine that, to then talk... That's the biggest asshole guys in the world.
Yeah.
The teenagers that would, get with a girl and then call them names. It's like, what is wrong with
Truly.
You? What is
How dare you?
How dare you?
What happened to you?
You were not saying that then, motherfucker. No. And also, you ruined it for everybody else. Right. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. She's not going to do it anymore.
Now she thinks I'm going to say that.
That's the 15-year-old brain.
Jerk.
Yes, that's the 15-year-old brain. Terrible. Awful.
Meanwhile, I'm not going to say anything to her except for come back.
Yeah, reptile brain. Awful shit. So Susan leaves high school at age 17. She drops out of high school and moves 20 miles away. Yeah. This is her big runaway.
It's a big one.
20 miles to the big city of Kokomo, Indiana.
Beautiful.
Indiana, which has 45,000 people in it.
Really?
Yeah, not exactly a booming metropolis, but bigger than Peru.
It's thriving compared to Peru.
There's more jobs than just at the Circus Hall of Fame showing off Bozo's jockstrap.
John Stamos and the Beach Boys are not one of those 40,000.
Never. No. They're avoiding this place like the plague. So here she meets a local rock musician, speaking of the Beach Boys. This guy, not nearly the success of the Beach Boys, unfortunately for both of these young people. His name is Ronnie Lovell. Ronnie Lovell.
Jesus.
He's a construction worker by day, rock musician by night. God damn it, he's going to make it. And she's going to help him. So
it's always fascinating when these guys, like, they're doing cover band stuff. You know what I mean?
Probably,
You have to play somebody else's song.
Or just nobody terrible originals,
maybe.
Nobody
wants to hear your shit. Play some from somebody else.
You have to... I've noticed, like, bands like that, like bar bands that do that. You can play, like, a couple covers and then sneak one of yours in. And if it's really good, people might go, which one is that?
Who sings this?
Who is singing? Exactly. Right. But then you confuse them, and they're okay with it. They're not like, what the fuck are they playing now? Go back to playing, whatever horse shit
you're
playing.
Play that Led Zeppelin again.
Play more Sugar Ray, or whatever the drunken idiots in the bar want.
Fucking, it's usually Journey, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin. It's shit that everybody knows.
They play the same shit over and over again.
How many cover bands are fucking huge? You know what I mean? Why do they do that?
Sing a song sung by a woman, because that's such a different thing that cover bands do. Oh, look at them. They're different.
There they go.
Oh, boy. So
they are singing Jolene. Do you hear that?
Can you imagine? Wow,
that is
ballsy.
Really weird hearing a man sing that song.
So strange.
Even the White Stripes singing that. Jack White sounds fucking weird singing about...
You're not Dolly Parton. Don't try it.
Don't take my man. Calm down,
You're not
Jack.
Dolly. You're just not Dolly, so stop it. I don't care what woman tries to sing it or what man. You're not goddamn Dolly Parton, who's a sweet angel, and when she sings it, you go, you don't take her fucking man. God damn it. And you couldn't because she's a fucking angel. All right, we could talk about this forever. So these two get together. She hangs out. She helps, she's like the hanger-on to the band kind of thing, where she literally helps them haul gear and shit, that sort of thing. But after 3 weeks, they decide to get married. So when you're 17, you want to make rash decisions like dropping out of school and marrying a band guy in 3 weeks. That's but that's how much she just wanted to get the fuck out of this area, away from people. They end up moving to Oklahoma City, which is his hometown, there. And, right after that, right after they get married. So they get married and he's like, I'm taking her back to Oklahoma City. The big city. She's excited because it's bigger than Kokomo. She sees, some opportunity there. Problem is, she has a certain personality quirk. Well, let her sister put it. This is from her sister, who knows her kind of best. She tells her sister everything in her whole life. Her sister said, quote, Susan's biggest problem was always sex. And Not that that's usually a problem.
Or her solution.
Yeah. Not that that's usually a problem, and fuck whoever you want.
Yeah.
But if you're married and you just move somewhere with someone, you probably shouldn't fuck everybody you meet then. That's all I'm saying. Not really judging whatever, just judging that on a personal level, it's kind of a dick move. Now, what she did is he gets a job, like I said, during the day construction. She's trying to do shit at night, and she just goes on basically an Oklahoma City sexual walkabout.
Beautiful.
Just has, because we all know Oklahoma City is the sexual capital of the United States. It's basically Thailand, but in middle America. You know how it works there. Anything you want there.
Fuck yeah.
Any itch you need to scratch, it's in Oklahoma City. They always say that.
And sometimes you get an itch there because of it.
I think so. So she gets a job as the manager of the apartment complex that they live in. And what she does is fuck everybody in the apartment complex.
Really?
She sees this as just a roster of dick.
Is that their job?
That's a full service office right there.
I live in an apartment complex. I figure they owe me something.
Shit. I mean, your rent is a little high for over there. But he would work his days as construction worker. Ronnie come home to his music. He'd come home at night, had no idea. But eventually he ends up finding out because she hooks up with one guy regularly and he lives 3 doors down.
Perfect.
So hard to avoid. His name is Gary Campbell.
Yeah.
He's 24.
Yeah.
He's 7 years older than her. And he's kind of a little bit of a step up. He's a little bit more stable. He's a long haul truck driver.
Beautiful.
That wears a big cowboy hat and a bigger belt buckle. So they call him Gary Campbell, cowboy. And he just shakes your hand. Also drive trucks.
Garth Brooks' real name.
That's probably, I believe, what it is. That's how he started.
Beautiful.
So, he lived in the same complex 3 doors down. Eventually, Ronnie figures this out and says, what the fuck are you doing? And she goes, whatever, shrugs her shoulders, just moves 3 doors down, takes all her shit and goes 3 doors down. Like, I don't know, fuck off and leaves.
Short walk.
Short walk. And so that's the end of that relationship. Shocking that a guy you meet and marry in 3 weeks when you're 17, it doesn't work out. It's weird.
Done and done.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
So, she moves right into Gary's house or Gary's apartment, and she's quickly pregnant.
Oh boy.
Which is a rough patch here. I don't think that was on purpose. She's quickly pregnant, and she divorces Ronnie Lovell quickly and marries Gary Campbell. So
she's positive it's his baby.
She thinks it's his baby. She's pretty sure it's his baby. I mean, that's what she's telling him anyway. We don't know. Because she definitely also, once she got with Gary, she still continued her ways. Her fucking. She continued her fucking or ways, however you want to put it. So she has a son named Jacob a few months after they get married. But her problem is same shit with her. She is not one to be faithful. About twice, 3 times a year at this point, she would go back to Peru, back to her hometown to, quote, see her family and take the baby to see her mom and shit like that. Right. But what her mother and her sister said she would do is drop the baby off at the mother and head out and get a fucking.
Wow.
And like I said, totally cool to do that, except her sister was like, we'd get to the bar, and it was no secret she was looking for dudes, but she'd order a drink and like not even get the drink before she was walking some guy out the door by the hand.
That's awesome.
Like it didn't even get to her yet, the drink, and so she was using that as a spit take afterwards. Thanks for that shot. Squish, swish, squirt. There you go.
She uses
spittoon
Jaeger to rinse it out.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
To
get it in there.
And her sisters were like, they were all like, dude, what the fuck? Because then she would go home and she'd tell her mom about it, which is the other weird thing where they found a little odd. And her mom was like, she's like raised as a farm girl in the 40s. She's like, don't tell me all this shit. She was uncomfortable with it all.
I blew him in a Cadillac.
Yeah, she was a real Cadillac, a real Cadillac. So.
Jesus.
This is crazy. She would, she put her wedding ring in her pocket, the whole deal, and go out to do whatever.
Wow.
Her friends were a little taken aback by it, her sisters, and her mom were a little like, you're a little reckless there, I think maybe.
Slow it down.
Maybe calm. This is when he would confront her about things like, what are you doing? She would get violent with him and have violent outbursts. At one point, this is messed up. She stabbed him in the chest with a pair of scissors, Gary Campbell. Yeah, Susan stabs Gary Campbell in the chest with a pair of scissors. And, Next time.
No.
Yeah, there's more, Jimmy. That's the thing. And we'll talk about why there's more in a second here. But he sticks around, even with violent, stabby outbursts. Yeah. And I'll take this line right from this cheesy fucking book I read about this, because this is bad writing. It says, once she stabbed him in the chest with scissors. Another time, she poked him in the leg with a knife. Nope, that's a stabbing. Every time.
Yeah.
You don't poke with knives.
No.
That's called stabby. Stabby stab with a person.
Yeah.
That's poked him in the leg with a knife. That's a stab. And he stayed with her because when she would stab him and he would be, bleeding out, this turned her on. And he would do like a Henry Hill in Goodfellas, like, well, all right. And and then he would play everybody's favorite game. Yeah. Am I going to come or die first? Which one? Roll them dice. Okay. Oh, I crapped out. I died. What?
My arms are a little numb. Keep sucking.
Don't
you
stop.
Don't you? Oh, God, that's so... My toes are cold.
Uh-oh,
oh, my God. I'm going to die. Am I going to die? No. Oh, Jesus. Give me an ambulance.
Call it right now, 911. Let's go. I don't care if it's a fucking 8 clowns and an ambulance pour out. Just bring them in here. This is ridiculous. This is crazy shit that's going on right now.
That's unbelievable.
This is so messed up.
That's how dumb men are.
That's how dumb men are, where we're like, all right, I
don't know.
I'm going to ride this out.
It's pretty good.
She hasn't stabbed me in any, organs I need right now. So
hasn't hit anything life-threatening.
That's how it works. It's all right for now. But she grows bored of this because she grows bored. She doesn't think that he's not, the lifestyle they're leading is not the one that she wants.
Yeah.
She wants a more affluent lifestyle.
Yeah.
So she gets a new job at a place called Perry Filters, and she hones in on a man there who she thinks is the one for this. Her radar's a little crooked, we'll say, because not even crooked. She's kind of an asshole. Let's just put it that way, and I'll explain it. This guy, different guy than she's ever been with before. He is college educated. Yeah. He graduated from Rice University. He was an Army captain.
Oh.
He owns a home. He's a different cat than anybody else that she's been with. He resigned his Army commission in 1981 due to a head injury suffered in a car accident.
Okay.
So that's the only reason why he's not in the Army anymore. He's working for this in this factory with her, and you would think, why is this wrong? Right. I mean, sure, she's married, but outside of that, I mean, what's wrong about her liking this guy? Problem with that is he's married. Not only is he married, he's married to the daughter of the man who owns this factory.
Oh my God.
Not only is he married to the daughter of the man who owns this factory, the daughter of the man who owns this factory, who he's married to, also has leukemia.
Jesus.
And it's not going well. It's not a light, not that that's a light, but I mean, it's not a light batter. It's a heavy, she's really coated in leukemia. She's got a lot of problems.
The sauce has a lot of butter.
It's a lot in there. So this is not the guy you want to push up on at this point. It's just kind of shitty as a human being to do. In general. Yeah. They have a little boy also. Him and Cheryl, his wife, who has leukemia, they have a little boy together. I mean, this is a terrible, tragic situation that she's going, I can turn this to my advantage. Cheryl ends up dying,
of course,
of leukemia shortly after she kind of hones in on Tom. His name is Tom Whited, Whited. So she hones right in on that, and the factory owner, Cheryl's father, is not happy about this.
No, I can imagine.
It's like, my daughter just died. Could you not grope her on the floor, right on the assembly room floor? Could you maybe not do that in front of the other employees? Kind of, unsettling, let's just say. So, this is terrible. But Tom, I see, now this is tough because this is like the Martin Short thing. If you love somebody and they die, and now you have a little boy that's a 3-year-old boy, and she's dead, and you live in the house that the father bought you guys as a wedding present, that's all full of your memory. Like, I don't know where my brain would go with that, and it might be to fill in the void, possibly. So from his
70s, early 80s.
Yeah. From his point of view, he's got to just be like, Jesus Christ, I got to plug somebody into this hole because it's a huge hole in my life here. And who knows? So as soon as that Cheryl is dead, though, she moves right into this whole deal, pushes hard for Tom. And once Cheryl's been dead for about 6 months, Susan ends up, even though she's a married woman, she moves into the house with him and everything. So it's, she takes custody of Jacob in fall of 82, and they drive to Austin, Texas and get married.
Oh, boy.
Tom and Susan do. And with their 2 kids, who are 3 months apart in age, she spent her 24th birthday on her 3rd honeymoon, which is fucking interesting.
That's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
That's tough stuff, man.
That's tough. Yeah, she's lived hard so far. Really, really, she has. It's been a tough life for her, and she's trying to make her life a little bit more comfortable here. And the house they live in is really nice. It's right up by. It's a 3-minute walk from a lake.
Oh wow!
Really nice lake. It's a really nice neighborhood. It was a present from the wealthy father-in-law, wedding present. So, it's a totally different life she's never led before.
She's crushing it.
She's gone from trailers to apartments to into the cab of dude's truck or whatever. Who the hell knows? To now this. So,
and apart from 3 marriages at 24, she's doing okay.
She's trying to figure it out anyway for herself. Yeah, I mean, she's got a kid to provide for and everything now. So the weird thing is, rather than explain to people what was going on, she just had both the kids call her mommy and dressed them like twins.
Oh no!
Even though they're not even fucking related.
You can't do that.
That is so.
My mom did
wrong.
That shit to me and my stepbrother, and we are 3 months apart.
Are you okay?
And
not related.
No, and he's fat. Well, he was fat and like really fat. And we went to the same school. They called us Spaghetti and Meatball, and then later in life called us Timon and Pumbaa. Thanks, Disney.
Jesus
you fucking
Christ.
Jerks.
Oh.
You can't put a fat guy and a skinny guy together in a fucking cartoon that kids are going to see and expect those guys not to be found somewhere in the school.
Yeah, they're gonna find an analog of that.
It hurt a little bit.
At least you weren't Meatball.
Yeah,
that's one way to look at it.
At least I wasn't Pumbaa.
At least you were Spaghetti. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that seems less insulting. It seems like they were more insulting him through you.
Yeah.
So
he did take the brunt of that.
Yeah, I think he took the brunt of that. Yeah, I think so.
He's a big boy. He could take it.
Yeah, it's worse to be fat and poor than it is to be thin and poor as a child. It really is.
Well, I was only thin and poor because I couldn't fucking afford to eat.
Yeah, well, I was pudgy and poor. The best of both worlds.
My stepbrother's just fat because his dad's fat. That's just bad genes.
You just got bad genetics, son.
That's all that is.
So, man, he's having these kids. They're twins. She's just telling people they're twins, which is weird as shit. And all goes well for a few months. It seems like, for Tommy, he's like, we just replaced it. It's kind of an idyllic little thing, a built-in little family. Until little Tommy, who is the Tom's son, little Tommy enters the Oklahoma City hospital with a fractured skull after 3 months of Susan living in the house.
Oh boy.
Susan is freaking out. She was watching the kids and she's crying her eyes out, telling everybody how she walked out of the room for a minute and he fell down and this happened and she feels terrible. Obviously, as if you're watching someone else's kid and you turn around and they crack their skull open, you're going to feel fucking awful about it. Like a monster that you didn't do their job and you could have done better and blah, blah, blah. Tommy, on the other hand, he had a different explanation for what happened. When he came out of his, unconscious state, a nurse asked him, "What happened to you, Tommy?" And his reply was, quote, "My mommy hit me."
Oh, no.
Which, his mommy certainly didn't hit him, but this lady fucking probably did.
Yeah.
But the hospital, they're so concerned about this, obviously, that they do nothing whatsoever. They do nothing. They don't report it to the police.
Dicks.
What? He's 3 and he got hit in the fucking head. What does he know? Jesus Christ. Not a reliable witness. Sorry.
Can't believe that kid.
Can't believe this kid's
Can't believe a 3-year-old with a head injury.
He's a little loopy. Let's just say that here.
That's bananas.
Just give him back to his parents is what they do.
Fuck does he know?
Yeah. So they just give it. This is after he's in the hospital for several days. This isn't like went to the emergency room, all's fine. Here you go. Take him back. He's in the hospital for days.
Oh boy.
And they just give him back with no investigation, no anything. And at this point, too, friends of the family are saying that Tommy is acting like a different kind of kid.
Well, yeah.
He's not as happy-go-lucky anymore.
Brain damage.
That's the other problem here. Who knows what's going on? It's terrible. They're wondering if maybe it's the head injury or what's happening. And then it becomes a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
4 months later, May of 1983, Tommy is back at the hospital again, little Tommy. And this time he's unconscious and he has a brain hemorrhage.
Oh, no.
This is bad stuff here. Now, Susan, on the other hand, she has explanations for this. First of all, I've had 2 kids. I've raised them. None of them had fractured skulls twice in 4 months.
No.
Ever. None of them ever had a fractured skull, as a matter of fact. I have a staunch record of never having a child fracture their skull under my care.
Samesies.
Mm-hmm. And they might fall. Kids fall all the time. I could see it happening once, twice in 4 months. You fucking watch that kid after he already fractured his skull.
My son split his head open. Falling out of one of those bouncy houses.
Eyebrow scar. Right. Look at me. Yeah,
same thing.
Fell downstairs and
bones intact.
Not broken. So she has an explanation. She tells these people that over the course of a few days, he's had several accidents. First of all, he fell out of a shopping cart right onto his head.
Oh, my God.
That was a few days ago. Right, just bang, right on his fucking, like a missile to the ground. Pow. Oh, no. He was playing and he fell and hit his head. Yeah. Another time he was walking, he tripped over the corner of the table, fell down, hit his head.
God,
and then
clumsy.
Finally, he was playing with the dog and the dog cut him off and he fell over the dog right on his head, obviously. You could see it, totally, total. Dickhead dog. Yeah, they do that on purpose. They're assholes like that. They're like, I'm going to fuck this kid up. And they take your legs out. It's rough. You got to be careful what kind of dog you get. That's the problem. Just an asshole dog. So you got to watch out for those. This time, the doctors aren't buying her explanation. This time, they're like, well, this has been twice in 4 months. Let's investigate a little further. And they do a complete examination of Tommy. And their report says that his injuries, quote, indicated sadistic beatings over a sustained period. They found bruises to his head, torso, and limbs.
Oh, my God.
Along with multiple cigarette burns on this poor child's body.
I hate to laugh.
Fuck, that's horrific.
It was the dog.
It was the obvious. See? Clearly the dog. Fucking dogs. You give them cigarettes and they burn the kids. They're total dicks, man. Fucking assholes.
Just a rude piece of shit.
Just a dick, I feed you, you dickhead. Stop hurting my child.
Horrible dog.
Some horrible fucking... It's a French poodle, I'm sure. That's the one. That's what it was. Just smoking. It's like, hey, fuck your kid. I don't care. He will fall over me, fracture his skull, kiss my fucking ass. I don't care. Ashing. Listen. Your kid can fuck himself. That's all I'm saying. I don't care for the kid, for anything you people do around the house. You put my food in the bowl. I poop sometimes outside, and maybe I kill your child. I don't care. He burns the kid. See that? That's how little I care for your child.
He puts the cigarette on him, and with his little paw, just stamps it out on his neck.
I don't care. That's how little I care for your child.
Fuck your child.
Fuck him. So he's a dickhead French poodle. I wish that happened in crime and sports so he could be a character. How is it you've come to arrive here, you piece of shit?
But that's what I see when I look at a French poodle, is exactly what I see.
That's what he's thinking.
That's why I can't love him. I don't know how to love that dog.
Fuck you. I don't need your treats. I don't need anything you have to offer. I poop where I want.
You don't pet me.
You don't pet me unless I come and say, pet me now. And then you pet me immediately.
I will rub this puff on your arm.
That's all. Every time. So, this kid, this poor kid, from this. Now, by the way, detectives at this point talk to Jacob, her other son, or her son, and they say, what's going on? Jacob blows up his mother's spot and says she hits Tommy all the time. She just comes in the room and beats him for no reason. And I'm scared that he's going to get beat up for no reason, because no kid wants to see another kid get the shit beat out of him. That's terrible. So that's traumatic. So little Tommy, though, here is left brain damaged.
Oh, my God.
And bedridden from this brain injury. Forever. This kid is completely done. This kid, she has fucking... vegetized this kid for better. No more walk. He's bedridden and brain damaged. Vegetized for life. This fucking kid. This is horrific. Luckily, this time the police are involved. Obviously, they charge her with felony assault and several other related counts to this. The factory owner, this boy's dead mother's father, is pissed, as you might imagine. He wasn't real happy about this relationship to begin with, and now he's really not happy about it. He wants her prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and he wants to choke his former son-in-law to death, basically, because he blames his son-in-law. He's like, I don't know this bitch, but you know better. You could have fucking kept a monster out of your house, you asshole. Yeah. But I don't know if he knows about stab and fuck or not, but it's like, but you don't understand. You don't get it, man. So the problem is the authorities in Oklahoma, they said that basically it's a hard thing to prove child abuse, and a lot of these jurors think that they called it, quote, in provincial beliefs about childbirth. They're saying, kind of rural people's like, sometimes you got to beat the shit out of your kid. Maybe it might go too far, but she was doing the right thing. Right. The prosecutor said they were afraid of that attitude prevailing, so they ended up letting her plead guilty to a single count of child beating, which sounds like that would be a competition in Oklahoma to see who's the best at it.
You got an award for it?
My daddy's the best child beat. He won the child beating trophy. It's a golden belt. 4 straight years. He beat my ass.
And third place gets the bronze switch.
Oh, that's a good one, the bronze switch. It's heavy. It'll really get you good. But a single count of child beating to that, which is a permanent vegetative state, gets child beating and a 5-year suspended sentence.
What?
She does no time for this.
Not even one day.
Kid's a vegetable, no time.
Wow.
Fucking unbelievable. That was the plea. Luckily, little Tommy, his care is entrusted to the grandfather, the factory owner, who uses all of his great wealth to do nothing but try to comfort his grandson. Jesus. Flies in specialists, takes him to anything that could possibly help his grandson in any way, shape, or form, spare no expense, try to help him. So
that is horrific.
Which, I mean, that's your dead daughters. It's your only link to your dead. Good fucking God, that's got to be horrible for this guy. That's got to be terrible here. And also at this point, custody of Jacob is transferred back to Gary Campbell because she's a felonious child beater. So that sort of thing here. So obviously, you think Tom probably kicked her the fuck out of that house and said, "I'm done with you." No, stayed with her.
What?
That's how good. That's how good she is.
That's how good and how dumb.
How just dumb men are.
Unbelievable.
So you can stab him. She can stab you. She can beat your child into a permanent vegetative state. Right. And you're like, all right. You just shrug. All right.
Keep sucking.
That's how fucking dumb men are.
Wow.
This is goddamn insane. Finally, after almost a year of this, Tom can't take the pressure from the outside anymore, and he has to break up with her. His mother stopped talking to him. Like, his family ostracized him. Nobody would talk to him. He was known as the pariah of town. Who let a monster beat his son into a piece of broccoli and then fucking stayed with her.
Everywhere he goes, they're probably like, "You still with that bitch?
Yeah,
How you doing?
Still with that fucking asshole murderous twat bitch." They can't get enough fucking foul names for her. She almost killed this kid, for Christ's sake. And he's like, "That's fine. What is wrong with you?" Not only just as a father, but as a goddamn person, a human. The fuck? So she moves back to Peru. She's got nowhere else to go. She moves back home with her family in Peru. Oh, one little problem, one little caveat to this. She's pregnant again. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
She is again pregnant. She comes in.
That is dangerous.
Yep. Comes on in, pregnant. She's still not really showing, so she goes out and hits the town just as she always does. Yeah. Trying to find guys, trying to find something, trying to keep it going. She needs to find somebody to help with this, is what she's telling her friends and stuff too. And at a local bar, she meets a bunch of cops and prosecutor guys that she starts to hang out with a little bit. And they say, it would be hilarious if we set this pregnant chick up with Jimmy Grund on a blind date. No. He's going to walk in and be like, "Oh, ha ha, guys, thanks a lot. Right. There's a pregnant woman you set me up with. Ha ha." Problem is, when they set her up with this Jimmy Grund, they sit down. He goes, "Joke's on you, assholes. I don't care how pregnant she is. She's not going to be pregnant forever. She'll always be 15 years younger than me. I'm taking this on. This is terrific." He's 39. She's 25. And this is, 14 years difference. This is, he's totally happy. She's way more attractive than anybody else that he's usually messing around with. And for her, this is what she wants. He's a sophisticated guy. He's got a plane, for Christ's sake. He owns the bar.
Yeah.
He's the county prosecutor still at this point. This is right as he ends his reign as county prosecutor, or right after that.
Is that a voted position or is that appointed?
I believe that's a voted one,
is
county
it?
prosecutor.
Wow.
Yeah. I believe that's a voted one. It might be different from state to state, but either way, I think it's. But if your father was that and you go in line, people no one gives a shit unless the prosecutor has some scandal. They don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, sure, great,
whatever.
Him, yeah, whatever.
Incumbent, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm afraid to kill anyone that he'll prosecute me. So I guess he's doing a good job. So they're together, and like I said, he's more sophisticated. He owns a goddamn plane. He's got a big house. He's a lawyer. He's everyone in town shows him massive respect.
Shit, yeah.
And she's like the kid from the other side of the tracks that's kind of impressed by this.
In the town that she's born in.
That's the other thing. This is like she's looking. These are the neighborhoods where she went. Wow, I can't even. Whoa, man, what happens in there? Right. That's what happens in there. People like him are born and move in there. So
I used to blow dudes behind the trees over there, and now I'm in this big old house.
Yeah, this is insane. So, she liked all of that thing. Now she ends up wanting to be with him. Within a few months, they're together. He's standing in as the father during the delivery of her daughter, named Tanel.
Jesus,
which they're not good at naming girls in the story at all.
They're really bad at it.
They're bad at Jamma and Tanel, which sounds like
Sue Ann.
And Sue Ann. Well, Jamma and Tanel sound like stage names for two chicks in like Gem or something. I'm Jamma and I'm Tanel. We're Gem, whatever. Wildly
like
outrageous. What
Spice
the fuck
Girls names.
Yeah. That's the cut Spice Girls, B-side Spice Girls. When they go on the road and two of them can't make it. Sorry, guys, Sporty and Baby couldn't make it tonight, but in their place, we have Jamma and Tanel. Everyone just kind of goes,
yay.
Is it? Okay, I guess. I liked Baby. I don't know which one you like.
I like Sporty. She was my favorite.
Yeah, she was cool, Sporty.
Yeah, she was always wearing the same shit I was. She could just share my clothes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's something about chicken basketball shorts that's kind of hot, too.
I dig it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe I'm just into lesbians. I don't know. But there's something about a chicken basketball shorts. I think it's cool. It's pretty hot. It is. I'm not kidding.
It makes me feel like we just finished and she didn't want to put that dress back on because that's not comfortable.
So you automatically
another pair?
project it onto you. I love that.
I put it onto.
That's how dumb men are. Once again, that's the name of this episode. Should be "That's how dumb men are." That's how dumb we are. We project it onto ourselves. Jesus Christ, we're terrible.
That's amazing.
So after the baby's born, within a few days, they take the baby, they travel down to Florida and get married.
All right.
These two. So she is moving in lock, stock, and barrel.
Right now.
Within 5 months, she is married into this family. Now, they said, or she said, I should say, Susan tells everyone that Jim's son, David, who's now 15 years old, remember he's born in 1970, he starts acting up around this time.
Sure.
She says it was a lot of typical teenage stuff, breaking curfew and just fighting with his dad a lot, which teenage boys tend to do. Right. They tend to challenge the authority.
He's 15.
He's 15. She said there was, quote, a lot of harshness between Jim and David. Okay. So that's whatever. That's not surprising. Right. Now, in the early months of the marriage, her first goal is to regain custody of her son Jacob, who is now living with Gary Campbell. As we remember, he took custody back. Jimmy Grund is the perfect guy to help out with this. He's an attorney with money, lots of attorney friends. He knows the law. You can't get any better.
Slam dunk.
Slam dunk. Of course, while he's doing all of this, he uncovers, what is this felony child beating?
She didn't, in 5 months, she didn't tell him
Never told him about
it. Not once.
Not once. And then she has excuses for it, too. She says that, no, that's crazy. Right. He was a rich guy. The father-in-law was this rich factory owner, and he had a lot of power, and, blah, 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 over.
It's hard for him to understand through his balls in his mouth.
That's the problem. Over prosecution. And it was very difficult. He goes, I get it. Okay.
It got clearer when she was picking the hair out of her teeth, but...
Yeah. Funny enough, he just says, All right. Shoulder shrug. All right.
Keep sucking.
That's how dumb men are. This is insane.
Unbelievable.
And sorry, guys out there, to keep saying that's how dumb men are, but every fucking man's an idiot in this story. What are we doing as a whole? And a lot of us, and we understand the mindset. That's the other, we're not just going, what is he doing? We're going, I kind of get it. This is crazy.
I might do the same, depending on the time.
How dumb men are.
Yeah.
We are stupid.
We're
all
idiots.
of us. When sex is involved, our fucking brains go out the window, and it's the goddamn truth. So, this guy ends up. What he does is he doesn't contact the Oklahoma authorities to get more clarification on it. He just believes her, and instead gets a hold of Gary Campbell and says, "I did a little research. I understand you're in a bunch of debt. Now I can help you with that debt by paying all of it off." And I'll get you a job with a guy I know in Oklahoma City. All you have to do is sign your son away.
Oh, boy.
Sign the rights to your son away. And he went, all right, shit, yeah. Signed it away, drove off in the big rig. It's basically like an over-the-top when fucking Robert Loggia presents Sly with this, you gotta sign this, I'll give you a truck if you get the hell away from my grandson. Right. And Sly just went, yeah, that sounds good. The kid's been a pain in my ass the whole fucking time. Here you go, have a good one. And took the keys and left, and instead of going to the arm wrestling tournament. Way worse movie at that point.
Much more realistic.
Though, yeah. I haven't seen him let me get this straight. I haven't seen him in 12 years anyway.
Right.
And now you're gonna give me $500,000 to not see him no more? Well, yeah, I don't know why. I wasn't going to see him anyway. I don't know what the problem is. Sure, why not? Hey, this guy's got to get ahead in life. So, so they end up, he gets him a job there, and this is how this works. Susan takes Jacob back, and Campbell ends up finding another woman, and he's happy. They move away somewhere. So, summer of 1986, Jimmy and Susan and their and Jamma and Tanel and Jacob or Jamma might be in college by now. Okay. They all move into a big custom-built brand new home that Jimmy has built on the edge of a big wooded lot in Peru. This is exactly what she's always wanted. She has the beautiful house in the beautiful neighborhood. He opens up a clothing store for her called Clothes by Susan, where she now tells all the rich ladies how to dress.
Wow.
So she's gone from wrong side of the tracks, just wishing she could not be there, to now she's not only on the right side of the tracks, but telling everyone how to behave on that side of the tracks, as a matter of fact. This would be Grace if this was crime and sports. Absolutely. She's reached her peak, and everyone has here. Now, later on, and this just to give you a hint into Susan's personality, because outside of the fact that she likes to fuck people, we haven't really given you a whole lot, and she beats a kid into you can tell a lot of her character by her actions, but we haven't heard a lot from her. This is what someone said later on. They said, well, Jimmy had a lot going for him, and why do you think he married you? Why do you think he was interested in you, even though you had problems and you were pregnant, and you had a bunch of marriages? And she said, this is a quote, "When you take in a bird with a broken wing and nurse it back to health, even after it's better, you don't want to let it go because you've fallen in love with it because it sings so pretty." So
what an asshole.
She does not live in reality, basically.
And that's like the 8th version of that thing, too.
Yeah.
So people have asked her that a bunch, and the very first time she said, because I'm like a bird, a swallow.
Bang.
Mic drop.
And it's over. And everyone's like, oh, I get it.
I know,
I get it. Yeah. So I think you're onto something, Jimmy. Jesus Christ, it's awesome. So, but they're a big part of society, man. They're hosting parties for all the big shots in town, and she's telling everybody and telling them what's wrong with their dresses and shit. I mean, this is her whole entire thing here. She takes, in 1989, she enters the Mrs. Indiana America pageant in Indianapolis, so she's got a lot of confidence in herself.
How'd she do?
She was never Mrs. Indiana America, so probably not well. She did not win, I would say, because in this story, nowhere did it say she won the 1989 Mrs. So yeah, she was in it, we'll say, entered it.
Maybe she should have blown some judges.
Well, that's what I mean. Well, she figures that out later. We'll talk about it. So as she's in her 30s, but she keeps herself in great shape, and she dresses well, and she's keeping herself going. So much so that she's very confident in her body, which good for fucking her, man. You should be. Yep. She has, when they move into this giant house, first thing she has done before she picks out furniture, before anything like that, she has a giant huge oil painting commissioned of her nude. So that's number one. We gotta get my titties on the wall, and then we can deal with the couch situation and get ourselves a bed. And her friends said when they came over for the first time to see the house, everybody gives a tour. You know, they said the tour began right from the front door to the oil painting. They were like, "Oh, that's a nice kitchen." She was like, "No, my pussy's this way. Let's go. It's on the. Come here. Look, see, there we go. I have a nice landing strip. I've shaved it well. Check it out.
You've made cookies. That's nice. Can we have one? Yeah, yeah, right. Speaking of cookies, I want to show you something.
I got something to show you guys. So, this is problem is too. You would think, okay, well, at least though she's in a good marriage and all that.
Sure.
She never stopped fucking everybody she's known, by the way. This whole time this is going on, she's building her society cred up. She's also fucking everybody. And they're a high-profile couple that everybody knows, and it's a lot of rumors around town, we'll say. Plus, she would share graphic details of these encounters with her mother and her sister and her friends and all these fucking people. They said the main people were an accountant from the next town, a local cop that knew Jimmie well, the pastor from the Baptist church.
Oh my God.
Which is pretty fucking awesome.
How did she figure that out?
She casts a wide net.
Yes,
I would say. It's just has a dick. It's fucking great. That's what I'm fishing for. Don't give a shit. Cops, accountants, pastors, totally different fucking people completely. She doesn't really have a type.
No.
This one.
Cock. That's a type.
Yeah, has a cock. So a couple friends of her husband's, friends of her friend's husband, like her friend's husband she's fucking with, like just her friends. Like, oh, I like her husband. I'm going to get with him. Ruining other people's marriages, or they are, I guess. They both are.
Yeah.
As a combination.
Everybody is.
One night stands with people in Indianapolis a lot too. She'd go up. She would tell her sister she'd go up for the weekend, and she's just like, man, it is going to be fucking Dickathon 89 in that hotel room, boy. It is just going to be a festival of cock through there. And she tells them that, like, I can't wait to see how many dudes I can find this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, she is not shy about this shit whatsoever.
She could have made a boatload of money in porn with, like, the Indianapolis 500. She could have crushed it.
Fuck, man.
Unless, would that be, do they have that copyrighted? She could do the Indianapolis 499.
499. The Indianapolis 69 is what she would have. So everyone, it's a small town and they're super prominent, so everyone hears about this, and she's fucking half the people, so they obviously know about it. Jimmie ends up hearing the gossip too. In 1990, Jimmie's own mother confronts him with gossip.
No.
She's like 80 years old. If an 80-year-old quote heard gossip, it's just out there.
Yeah.
Who the hell are they talking to?
The word is on the street.
The word is on the street, man.
Was it a pastor? Because 80-year-olds, they just go to the grocery store and church.
Yeah. And
so it was either
bank,
the butcher,
the post office. There's like 4 people she could have been told this by. Not many people.
Or the pastor himself.
That's true. Yeah. That's praise Jesus.
You smell like my daughter-in-law. Why do you smell like her? You should smell my cock because it smells like her pussy.
She smells like them candles. Where do I smell those candles? Oh, church.
That is church candles.
I don't know if Baptists have candles. I think that's just Catholic, probably.
Maybe.
I don't fucking know anything about religion. So moving on. Basically, he was confronted with these rumors and said, all right, just didn't care. Didn't say shit. Everything went on fine until the summer of 1992. Now, this is when Jimmie's kind of had it. He starts complaining to his friends openly about her, about Susan, the state of his marriage. He says that not only is she not faithful at all, and he's saying this to people she's fucking. You know what I mean? Like, she's not faithful. They're like, really? Wow, that's terrible. Like, he can't have a group of 5 people around that she hasn't slept with one of them. So it's really difficult to have these conversations.
That's horrible.
They argue in public. They argue, like, in public, they're seen arguing. They argue in private. He complains that not only is she having a bunch of affairs, she spends just exorbitant amounts of money on jewelry and cars and lingerie and just shit that he feels that is just too much, just not needed. They argue all the time. They start seeing a marriage counselor in 92. Jimmie brings up divorce and marriage counseling quite a bit, and Susan is always doesn't want any part of it. She says she doesn't want any part of it. She tells her friends that she fears she fears basically that she would be reamed in a divorce because he has resources and legal knowledge and friends who are lawyers and all that, and that she would not get her fair share and whatever. So, but he wanted out. And in mid-July of 92, he actually goes to a lawyer friend of his and has papers drawn up and says he's going to tell her he wants a divorce. He's going to end it. He says, this is in mid-July 92. He says that they're coming in August 1st. Her and her kids come home from Alaska. They're going on a vacation. When they get back, I'm telling her I want a divorce and I'm ending it. Okay. So he's expecting that to happen August 1st. Now, he decides to wait. During this time, unbeknownst to Jimmy, Susan, on July 4th of 92, had a little run-in with Jim's son, David.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, David at this point is 22 years old. He lives on his own. He has a house and a girlfriend. He's going to college. He's doing all this shit, right? So Susan stops by David's house unannounced on July 4th. 4th of July, she's out and about. She was going to do some things for a barbecue. She went to the fairgrounds. She said she was coming home from the fairgrounds, and weirdest thing, she found a new shortcut home.
Yeah.
Even though she grew up here and has lived here for years and probably knows how it's a small town.
Right.
It's a 5.2 square mile town. It's not like you're finding new. I never knew that road was there.
Very few.
Yeah, you did. Everyone knows that road is there.
In 5 square miles, you can't find many roads that you've never seen before.
Yeah, especially a new shortcut. Right. And she said, weirdest thing is about this shortcut, it goes right by your house.
Paved
How strange is that? Yes, super weird. Didn't even have to go through the woods. So strange. So she just says, just thought I'd stop by and say hi. And also, I wanted to ask you, she says, I'm interested I'm buying a gun. I want to just start target practice. I want to start shooting. Yeah. And I heard you bought a gun recently, right? And he said, yeah, I bought a new 9mm. It's really nice. And she said, do you mind if I just take a look at it to see if maybe that's one I want to look at? Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to be too big for, I'm a bird. I sing pretty and swallow and everything, but I don't have a lot of firearm experience. So she said, do you mind if I hold it? And he's like, yeah, sure. I mean, that sounds reasonable. She's thinking about buying one. I have one. That seems normal. So he says, sure, no problem. And while he's getting the gun, she's looking around. She goes, man, by the way, I see your lock's broken on your door there to the front of the house. Is that, you got a shoelace wrapped around it. That doesn't seem safe. And he goes, oh, it's a really safe neighborhood. Nobody's going to break in here. I'm not worried about that. And he said, plus I have a Rottweiler too. And she said, I know you have a Rottweiler. By the way, that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. When you guys leave the house, you guys just leave the Rottweiler out, or do you put it in a cage or what? And then she tests the gun, and then she goes, thanks, and leaves.
And the girlfriend comes out of the bathroom and goes, who was here? And he's just sitting on the couch. It was just my stepmom. She came by, just hang out, nice, and asked me, some murdery questions, and then I was all gone.
Yeah, she's taking off.
So the Colts are on, so shut the fuck up.
Shut up, God damn it. It's the 4th of July. We ain't got no baseball in Indiana.
Yeah.
It's Reggie Miller and Rick Schmitz playing one-on-one baseball. That's all we got in July.
Yeah.
They are contracted for life to entertain us.
And reruns of the Colts game.
Of the Colts game from
40 years.
The one that we won.
Right.
So, they think that's super weird. And what David and his girlfriend think is even weirder is later on they go out for 4th of July festivities. They come home about 10:30, 11 at night, and their fucking house has been broken into.
Same day?
Same day, 4th of July.
That is weird.
Door wide open. Now, there is jewelry and cash in plain sight, untouched.
Yeah.
The fucking Rottweiler sitting there, happy as can be.
Yeah.
One thing is missing. The gun.
Oh, boy.
Shocked, right?
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, I did tell you the Rottweiler was there, so I couldn't. You couldn't have been confused.
It wasn't the shoestring?
It wasn't the shoestring. She stole my shoelace. Damn it. It's one thing to break in, but don't steal my lock. So the gun is gone. So David, though, is thinking this has to be the craziest coincidence in the world.
Yeah.
Because from his point of view, this is his stepmom, who's like this society lady, and his point, he doesn't know that she was fucking white trash and blew her way into the town.
Right.
He has no idea. It's just his stepmom, and she has enough money. Why would she break into my house and steal a gun?
Yeah.
They have all of them. She could buy 10 9mm right now.
Certainly.
It's just stupid. So he doesn't even really mention that to the cops because why would he doesn't want them to go in the wrong direction at his stepmother, which is obviously not the person.
Right.
So he has to report it, though. So he does. He reports it missing, and that's that. goes on. He never brings it up to her, never anything like that. So that ends up happening. Now, August 1st, this is August 1st, she returns from her trip to Alaska with the kids, and Jimmy's supposed to tell her about the divorce and have her served with papers and all that good shit. Now, August 3rd comes around. Now, we don't know if he told her about the divorce or not.
Okay.
We'll never know that. The only people that know that are Jimmy and Susan, and possibly whoever Susan decided to fuck that night. So anyway, August 3rd, now Jacob, her son, is spending a night with one of his cousins, and her daughter's spending, her daughter has one of her cousins coming over to spend the night there. So she's doing a bunch of kid shit. It's August 3rd, so it's summer vacation.
Kids are all occupied.
Kids are all occupied, doing things. About 10 o'clock at night, she leaves the two boys at a campground with some other parents that they were having like a kind of a camp out.
Yeah.
I don't know, marshmallow fucking roasting weenie poor shit. Who knows what the hell people do in Indiana. The worst. So she's driving back and forth doing kid shit, is what she says. And she's got a lot of time that's just gone, where she's driving here, driving there, where nobody sees her. Okay. So Jim's night, that night, Jimmy Grunn came home from work. He had a lot of work still to do. Yeah. So he ends up falling asleep on the couch with work papers on his chest. I mean, he's working very hard that night. So about midnight comes around, and the Miami County emergency phone system here receives a call from Susan requesting an ambulance. Yeah. She said that she found her husband lying on the couch in the bedroom with blood coming out of his eyes and mouth.
Oh, boy.
Which is a bad sign, usually. Usually, my husband's bleeding from the eyes. Yeah. They don't just go, put a rag on it. He'll be fine. That's a different thing. So, obviously, 911 hears blood coming out of eyes and mouth, and they're there pretty quickly.
We'll rush.
That ends up happening. Yeah, we'll hurry. We'll blow the red lights for this one.
We're on our way.
So they get in there. The police are looking around. The ambulance automatically contacts the police when they see it's a gunshot wound, more than likely, and we'll talk about what wound it was. Okay. They call the police, and now the craziness begins here because he's a prosecutor. He was the county prosecutor, so everybody knows him in law enforcement.
Of course.
So everybody comes over to take a peek. Every cop in town, lawyers, detectives.
Good Christ.
So she starts freaking out, Susan, and calls like her mom and her sister, and they all come over. Yeah. There's people fucking everywhere. Everybody but the mayor is here, Jimmy. There's a real circus in there. I'm not going to lie. Sorry. I couldn't help.
Son of a bitch. I enjoy it.
It's a real circus in there, man. It's going on, and people are juggling. It's a fucking disaster. Teenagers are juggling. It's a mess.
There's a bear on a fucking unicycle.
Yeah. It's just
with the greatest showman whipping him.
So, one of them's fucking squirting her, calling her a whore while pointing to her oil painting. Whore! Mean
and
clowns.
It's Hugh Jackman, that motherfucker.
That's right. So the emergency room people, or the emergency medical people, are obviously they see that he's gone already and has been gone for a while now. Right. So she's telling him to do something, and he said, "Well, your husband's gone, ma'am. Sorry." She says now she has advanced medical science, thousands of years at least, with her way of reviving him. Yeah. She says, quote, no, just give him some oxygen and some blood. He'll be fine. It's fine. You don't know how to do your job, clearly.
Try sucking his dick.
Yeah, it works every time. It's like priming the carb on a lawnmower. It's like pressing that little bit. And then it'll start right up.
He'll pop right off.
He pops right up, and he'll do better work tomorrow. As a matter of fact, he's well rested.
Patch him right up.
So this is a fucking mess. Obviously, here, all sorts of shit's going on. She has a theory while the police are there. She has a theory. She says, "Oh, he's on the couch with work on him, a gunshot wound to the head." Yeah. Okay, I know what happened. Now around the room, everything is kind of askew. Yeah. It's like if you were doing shooting like a piss poor sitcom and you told the set decorator, make it look like somebody ransacked the place. Just knock that over and pull some clothes out of a drawer and leave it open. Yeah. But nothing's missing. Like, there's money and jewelry in plain sight. Nothing's missing. But she says, I see what happened here, guys. Now, homicide detectives, pay attention here, because I'm about to school you.
Listen up. I'm Willem Dafoe.
Listen,
in what was that fucking stupid bar movie with
Platoon?
the Irish kids?
I don't know.
The Irish kids.
No, fucking Boondock Saints.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm about to show you everything that happened right now.
Yeah, I got this. Here's what happened. Obviously, clearly, any layman could see this.
Yeah.
Robbery taking place. They were ransacking the place, clearly, if you see by these strewn about clothes. Jim walked in, caught them.
Yeah.
They got scared, shot him in the head, and he gently laid down on the couch and put his work on top of his chest and went to sleep very gently and died.
By a
Clearly.
huge friggin' guy.
Just, yeah. That's what happened. Yeah, obviously.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, this time they're obviously like, oh, yeah, that's great. Because, homicide detectives, they obviously are looking for theories from others, from outside places. She just says, I don't know what happened. This place is a mess. But he's already dead, obviously. As that goes, it turns out it's a single gunshot wound to the head with a 9mm. Weird, right? No signs of a struggle. 2 open suitcases on the floor, clothing strewn about, dresser drawers open, all that shit. No signs of forced entry, though. Now, Susan says when she got home that the lights were out, which is weird. She says, Jim always leaves the lights on for me when I'm out whoring. It's always. I'm blowing people. He's like, I'll leave it on for you, honey. Don't worry.
Just so you can see if you got any in your hair when you
that,
come in the door.
Yeah, that goes. She said she always left the lights on for him and then for her. And this time that they were out, she came in, said, Jim, oh my goodness. He's clearly resting.
In need of blood and oxygen.
Yeah, big time. Now, by the way, we have to say this because people say this is not slut shaming at all. This is asshole shaming.
For sure.
She's not a nice person. No. She beat a fucking child into a vegetative state. So you know what our recourse is? Making fun of her for whatever the fuck we can. And what she's doing is detrimental to families and a lot of people, and it's kind of shitty. A couple days after the murder, though, she is already in the process of trying to collect life insurance, $250,000 worth, decent chunk, and also have herself declared executor of the estate.
Right now.
Which is a big deal. Right this minute. Yeah. Her kids are not so, or his kids, David and Jam, are not so anxious to have her be the executor of shit, and they file a lawsuit to block her. Yeah. And what would really help is if the police would get their back and say that she might have had something to do with this and maybe help delay this process a little bit, and they find somebody to help out.
They found an ally?
They find an ally. They find Jimmy's best friend, Sergeant Gary Nichols.
Yes.
He's a tough, grizzled bastard, and he says he, quote, made it his mission to see that she would never get a penny of Jimmy's money.
Okay.
And he took his fedora off and lit up a non-filter cigarette.
And then just
turned black and white.
Ran his hands over that flat top to make sure it was even.
Yeah. See if he needed to put more Brill cream in his hair. Yeah, he did that. So they do a little investigation here, and they find a spent shell casing on the floor next to Jimmy and recover a bullet from the couch behind his head where it went through his fucking head, and it both appeared to be from a 9mm. Again, there. Now, the detectives here, especially Gary Nichols, is aware that I think a similar weapon, if I'm not mistaken, was stolen from David. Let's ask David about it. So he goes over, and this is some smart shit, goes over to David's house, and he says, let me ask you a question, David. You have this new gun and all that's been stolen, right? David says, yes. He goes, before it got stolen, did you have a chance to do any target practice with that gun? And David said, sure did, as a matter of fact. I was down over here shooting it into a telephone pole. And Gary Nichols says, that sounds fun as shit, but I have some guns and we can do that too. But I also have cop shit to do, to get to also. That sounds super fun. Don't get me wrong. Trees, fire. It's crazy. We're going to have a ball.
We're going to do
We're
that.
We're going to go out after. But let's find out who killed your dad first. Let's do that. And then we'll have fun. So he says, do you know where that telephone pole is? Could you maybe direct me to it? And David says, sure fucking can. So Gary Nichols goes down there, pulls slugs out of the telephone pole to compare for ballistics against this gun. Brilliant. It's super brilliant. It's fucking incredible. It's kind of like On the Wire. It's true. They pulled Snoop and Herc pulled Snoop and Chris over, and they shot his nail gun into the ground. They shot their nail gun into the ground out of pure anger and frustration that they couldn't get shit out of them. And then later on, Freeman and McNulty are looking for nail guns and nails to match newly put in nails over that are on and boards that cover vacant building doors where they're finding a bunch of dead bodies because Marlowe's fucking killing people and putting them in there because he's a piece of shit. And I want Omar to kill him really bad, and he never does. So it's kind of like that.
All right. Just like that.
It's a good reference, but he's lost on you. Totally lost. I'm sorry. I'm out of breath now. So now they find that it matches the gun. So now they go to Susan and they go, we have a new development in the case.
Whoa.
This is super weird. The gun that David had stolen from him, these bullets match that gun. And she says, oh, you know what? That makes sense. That makes sense, she says, because their relationship has been falling apart, Jim and David.
Ever since he was 15.
Ever since she said, first I would be like the go-between between them, but the last couple of years I haven't been doing that, and it's been getting worse and worse between them. It's hard for me to be the go-between because I was also fucking David. So it's harder.
What the fuck?
So the cops are like, blah, blah, blah. Back that up a step. You're fucking David. And she's like, oh, yeah. We've been a couple of years. She goes, I wouldn't really call it an affair, unquote. That's what she said.
That's fucking affair.
But, we were banging around.
It went a while. Several times?
A couple years, as a matter
While you're
of fact.
married? Yeah, definitely an affair.
I would call that an affair, as a matter of fact. She claims also that that Jim knew about this and just said, well, don't do it again, and didn't care. Which
generally not.
This guy is really forgiving and calm. So you can beat kids into vegetative states, fuck his kid, his friends, everybody. He doesn't care.
How good is her blowjob?
Amazing, apparently. Now, they need evidence against her is the only thing here. More than just that, because they haven't found this murder weapon. And she has the same problem. Her problem is the murder weapon also because she can't get rid of the murder weapon because she has the murder weapon.
Sure.
She has taken it and sewn it up the ass of a giant Christmas teddy bear. That is where she's...
Good hiding spot.
That's a good hiding spot. It's not bad. They don't find it there, so it's not a bad hiding spot.
Yeah.
And a couple weeks after the murder, they move out of town. Mm-hmm. Susan takes the two kids and moves out of town. Takes off for a while here.
That's not suspicious.
It's not suspicious at all, right? No. Oh, the memories in that house. It's terrible.
Bizarre.
So after that, couple weeks in September, a neighbor calls her up out of town and says, hey, the cops are poking around about you. They're asking me questions. They're over at your old house and all that shit. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
So Susan says, fuck, okay, I need to do something here. And she calls up her sister and her mother and meets them.
Yeah.
She meets them at a McDonald's near Indianapolis, which is a crazy place to meet anyway, especially when they get there. Susan turns to them in the car and says, okay, I gotta tell you guys something. I killed Jimmy. Just to let you know. The mother's like, oh, Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? Like, this is crazy.
We liked you better when you're telling us blowjob stories.
Can you go back to that? Jesus. Now, according to Susan, she said it was supposed to be a double suicide. Mm-hmm. That was the point of this. But she said that she couldn't do it. She couldn't kill herself.
Okay.
So Jim said, all right, you can't kill me. You can't kill yourself. Shoot me. And that way my will and my life insurance will still be in place because I was murdered. It wasn't a suicide. Right. So you shoot me and then you got, it's all, you know what? You live a good, happy, luxurious life. I need to die because this is terrible.
I'm done with this being successful.
I'm done with all this success and all this type of thing and all this loving my family and shit. It's terrible. So that's her story. Mm-hmm. She said, then I took the gun and I hit it up the teddy bear's ass and it's sitting there. She said, it's still there. We have to get rid of it. So, okay. First of all, by the way, her excuse for doing this, which is amazing later on, when she tells the cops why this happened. It's fucking awesome. Anyway, so they take the gun, they take it to her sister Darlene's house. Yep. They get a big pot, like a big concrete, not a concrete, but like one of those big plaster pots to pot things. Darlene's husband gets them a bunch of concrete and they put the gun at the bottom of the pot, fill it with concrete. Done. And they leave it at their nephew's house.
There you go.
Nice fucking aunt. Thanks, Auntie, for the murder weapon pot. Appreciate that. I can't even use it as a planter because it's full of concrete. Appreciate it.
I'm supposed to just keep this now?
Thanks. That's beautiful. I appreciate it.
I can't lift it.
Yeah. So at this point, Jesus Christ, she had to figure out how to get the way they got the gun out is amazing too. The whole reason why the gun stayed in the house for so long was because she thought it would be suspicious to carry out a big teddy bear, a big Christmas teddy bear. Oh. So what they did was they went to the store and bought another giant teddy bear and carried two out. because they thought that would be less suspicious.
You gotta have a decoy.
It's a decoy teddy bear. Like what's in those teddy bears? And you hand them the one with nothing in it. Okay, never mind.
This is August.
The
more Christmas teddy
September.
bears. Yeah.
The more
suspicious.
I would
that's
say
what it
so.
is.
As many as you have, that's as suspicious as I am. Wow. So this is obviously crazy. Everybody sticks to their stories. Everything's fine for 2 months. And then Darlene runs into the lead investigator. Her sister, Susan's sister, runs into the lead investigator, and the guy starts asking her a few questions, and she says, oh shit, I know the answers to all these questions. Yeah. Not to mention, so does my mom. We could get in trouble for this.
A lot.
This probably isn't good. Tell you what, she killed fucking Jimmy. She told me all about it. She spills the beans on her sister.
Wow.
Spills the beans. She says the gun is at my nephew's house. It's in a pot.
Yep.
I helped her do it, the whole deal. So they arrest Susan on November 4th, 1992. After this, they said the motive is insurance money, obviously. Police go looking for that pot because that murder weapon's the final.
Yeah.
That's the final nail in the coffin. It's gone. Pot's not there anymore. They can't find it. They go to Darlene. They go, where the fuck's the pot? She goes, it's over it's there. They go, no, it's not. Problem was, Nellie, the mother, had some sort of weird Edgar Allan Poe fucking telltale heart thing going on. And every time she saw that pot, she was like, they're going to find it. They're going to find it. So an elderly woman hauled a 75-pound concrete pot up 3 flights of stairs and hid it in her attic underneath a bunch of shit. So it looked like everything's just been there for years.
That is how much regret she has.
That's how much, that is crazy shit. So they can't find it. So they're going forward anyway. They're like, we have enough evidence without the murder weapon.
That's great.
Until 10 weeks before trial, when Nellie goes, okay, fine, it's in the fucking attic. I did it. We helped her hide it. It's up there. They would have never found it.
Yeah.
She just gives it up. She's like, I got to do it.
Incredible.
Which is goddamn crazy. Now, obviously, it's the same gun. Now she has to have an explanation for why.
Why do you have the gun now?
Why do you have the gun? And she said, and this is amazing, she says 2 different explanations, okay? First of all, she says that she saw the gun, recognized it as David's, and didn't want David to get in trouble and didn't know what to do, so she was going to hide the gun and figure it out.
Yeah.
Then her second excuse, and this is what she says in court. This is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
She says that they said, well, why did you hide the murder weapon? And she said, well, I saw it lying on the ground there. And, I thought maybe, might have something to do with the death, because it's a gun and it's next to a dead man.
Right.
She said, and I knew that there was going to be a bunch of police and paramedics. And she said, quote, I didn't want it to be a distraction to whatever was going on here. Because the one thing homicide detectives hate is when there's evidence everywhere.
Yeah.
They hate that. They walk in, they're like, oh, Jesus Christ, what is a fucking murder weapon now? Come on, man. Jesus, I got to bag this shit now? You got a fucking bag? I don't have one. I need a pencil to put it in I don't fucking have any of this shit. Put a pain in my ass.
I hate when this is easy.
I hate when it's an open and shut. Fuck, god damn it. Now I got to do work.
Right.
I got to fucking write on the thing where it came from and the date, and I got to put that tape on it. This is horseshit.
So, where's the photographer? Somebody take a picture of this?
Just take a picture. I'm done with this shit. Wow. And she also, in court, said that she thought it was David who did it because, quote, in tears, she said, because we'd had an affair. And so the whole court gasped. She said, quote, he said he was going to get rid of his dad. That's what she says in court. They get David on the stand, who is a undergraduate student at Indiana University, and they ask him about it, and he says, quote, I never had an affair with that woman. And pre-Bill Clinton, that held a lot of weight. It really did. Like after Bill Clinton, if you said those words in that order, you could have never been on the same continent with a woman and you'd be like, oh, he fucked her definitely.
Yeah,
but back then, if you said I never had an affair with that woman, that shit sounded, oh wow, he never had.
Convincing.
That's convincing. He said absolutely not. Then her sister and her mother testify against her, which is ugly.
Yeah.
And they testify about everything that happened, and then they add a little something to it too.
Yeah.
They put a little stank on it. She says her sister is quoted on the stand as saying, quote, she's a liar. She's always been a liar. And then at the end of her testimony, Darlene was crying, the sister.
Yeah.
As she was breaking down crying, getting off the stand, she stopped dramatically, turned to Susan and said, why'd you do it? which is the worst fucking thing the jury could see.
And Susan said, "Get off the stand, Judas.
Fucking idiot.
Shut the fuck up.
Jesus Christ.
Your time's done.
They said you're excused. Get down. You're done now." So it goes to the jury, 15 hours of deliberation, which seems like a lot for this seems pretty open and shut. And the jury, after 15 hours, declares itself deadlocked and they have a mistrial.
Oh my God.
She is not guilty. Or not found guilty.
Yeah.
They said at least 2 jurors said they could never vote for her to be guilty.
You betcha.
Wink, wink. At least 2 jurors, both of them probably dudes, I'm going to say.
Couple of dudes that found themselves on a lunch break with a dick in someone's mouth.
That's what I'm saying. Mistrial. She gets a mistrial out of this. They do have a retrial because they're not going to let this go.
No.
This time they introduce some new evidence too.
Yeah.
Number one, they have to introduce evidence of her being a liar because she's getting on the stand saying she has good character, so they have to impeach her character.
Yeah.
And it's just like her and David, their words against each other. So they find a detective. She filed a burglary report in 1990 and reported a bunch of items missing. Now, this same detective was one of the investigating detectives of Jimmy Grunn's murder, came over to the house to interview her about the murder. Lo and behold, while he's there, he sees a shitload of items that she listed as missing in that burglary. So right away, that's a thing that's like a legal lie, that she lied in a police report. That makes her a liar. Not only that, they find a bunch of their friends and relatives who will testify to the fact that Susan was physically abusive to Jimmy.
Really?
That he would come around with black eyes and scratches and probably knife wounds under his clothes for all we know. And she would have no marks on her, and they would ask him about it, and he would say, "Oh, she got upset or whatever," and blow it off, sort of thing. So they introduced that, and that's a big deal because now you're talking about a growing domestic violence and a murder. It's the same. It works, but doesn't matter the gender. Physical abuse and a murder is physical abuse and a murder.
It all accelerates and graduates to something bigger.
Yeah, gender aside, it doesn't really matter. So also the sister obviously again testifies against her. There's some hearsay stuff where the sister testifies about something the sister's daughter told her that's just kind of complicated, and that testimony gets corroborated by people outside of hearsay also, but it'll come up later, so that's why I'm telling you this. This time though, it goes to the jury, and the verdict is guilty of murder. They've decided that she's guilty here. They also find some aggravating circumstances. They find her prior criminal history. You beat a boy into a vegetative state, that's going to look bad after you kill somebody.
Certainly.
Her need for correction, since she didn't get any time for the last one, and look what happened. And that a lesser sentence would depreciate the seriousness of the offense, because this was a premeditated murder, they're saying, which is way worse than they got in a fight and something happened. They find no mitigating circumstances.
Not a single one.
Not one. Not a goddamn thing. And they're ready to sentence her, and the judge tells her, "You, ma'am, may fuck off 60 years.
That's steep.
That's the maximum for the charge. So 60 years she gets after that.
She got it all.
She lost her fucking mind.
She took it all, James.
She took every last inch of it. Afterwards, they basically have to carry her out of court, sobbing and fucking, losing her mind. So this you think it would be over, but it's not. And not just the appeals process. There's some interesting things here that have to do with, we'll talk about it. 1995, there's a court battle over the estate, the Grund estate. Now, they're trying to take it all away from her, and she, and rightfully legally so, argues, "Oh, no, I could have killed him on fucking Main Street in front of the whole town during a fireworks display, during the amateur circus, and I still own half of his estate because half of that estate belonged to me before I killed him. So killing him doesn't mean that I don't own that anymore." And they go, "She's fucking right." And she gets to keep half the estate. So
they didn't sue for like wrongful death and take it all from her?
Then you have to do that. Then you have to go through that process. But she was just they were just trying to take the whole estate right away. And they said, "Nope, can't do that.
I'm buying all the ramen I can before they sue me."
Fuck yeah. That's what, in prison she's going to need it. Ask Chad Curtis, a crime and sports alumnus. So
she will be rich.
Yeah. She appeals the first time. A lot of it's hearsay testimony, shit from the sister's kids' statements through the sister. They do that. Also, they said that her daughter's statements amounted to some hearsay. Then her other part of it is ineffective assistance of counsel for not objecting. more vigorously to the hearsay.
Okay.
So it's all based around this one little kind of hearsay thing here. And also she said that she should have gotten the shit from the 1990 burglary not allowed into court. The cop calling her a liar, basically. Yeah. That's another thing there. It's a bunch of failing to object. Also sentencing. She argues that a maximum sentence of 60 years is manifestly unreasonable in this case. And the defendant requests the court revise the sentence here based on all of her shit. She says she doesn't challenge the aggravators, but she says that her need for correction is she calls it a recitation of the language of an aggravating circumstance. She says that shouldn't be that bad. They disagree.
Yeah.
They disagree. They also said that she should have a mitigating circumstance, and that should be that she's a mother, and imprisonment of her would have a substantial hardship on her children.
Well, sure.
And also they also say she's been good. She's done charity work recently, and a number of people in the community found her to be of good character, and people requested mercy on her behalf because they knew her in town. And the judge said, this is, by the way, an exact statement.
Yeah.
This is a "you man may fuck off." Quote, "First, incarceration is not the cause of the hardship on your children. You murdered the children's father, thus removing him from their lives. That's the hardship on the children." And he says, "We cannot find error in the trial court's failure to find a hardship to be a mitigating factor because you're causing the hardship.
Right.
So fuck you. You can't cause a hardship, then call it my fucking problem."
Right.
Basically. The conclusion here is conviction and sentence are affirmed, and they send her on back to the clink.
Okay.
2010, she's on TV.
Yeah.
She has a TV interview. This is her 15 minutes here to get her story out.
Yeah.
She's been in jail for 17 years, 18 years, and she finally gets to get it out. She does a TV interview with Investigation Discovery and with former FBI agent Candace DeLong, whose her career was what Jodie Foster's character in Silence of the Lambs was based on.
Got it.
She's a fucking badass.
Really?
This Candace DeLong she could make you admit to the Kennedy assassination, and you were born 15 years later. Like, that's how she's a badass. Yeah. Like, she asks a question and then puts her eyes in a way that somehow scan the back of your skull.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. And Susan hangs in there and gives her all the shit she can about she's just so innocent and David did it and it's just terrible being wrongly imprisoned.
Oh boy.
And all that horse shit. Finally, Candace DeLong's thing about her is not recommendation. Her summary of Susan is that Susan needs to be worshipped and idealized by men. And that's the problem, her main problem there. She asked Susan, and this was a big factor because she said she would talk about how tough she is, Susan, over the course of this, and then would go to how weak she is.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Depending on the situation.
Depending on when it's convenient for her. So this Candace DeLong said, "Let me ask you a question. You think David killed your husband, right?" And she said, "No question." Candace DeLong said, "Okay. You saw him after that. Did you ever say, hey, why'd you kill my husband?
Yeah.
Anything to that nature?" And this is Susan's response, quote, "I'm just a little woman."
Oh, boy.
So now she's just a little woman that can't do anything. So she's just a full of shit.
Yeah.
I'm just a liar. That's what it should have been. I'm just a little liar. Fucking gender is not a factor here.
Listen,
you're an asshole.
Candace, if you were a dude right now, I'd be blowing you.
Yeah, so let me tell you. Maybe you get me out of this. So, Christ almighty. June 2012, she has another appeal. She argues now that Miami County prosecutor Wilbur Siders had improper contact with jury members from Grunn's first trial, which ended in a mistrial, which wouldn't fucking matter because they convicted her on the second time. This Siders, the prosecutor, acknowledged meeting with jury members from the first trial before the second trial. But the first court trial and then the appeals court found nothing improper because you're allowed to talk to the jurors after the trial's over.
Yeah.
They're not held over for the next trial.
Right.
It's not like they're going to keep that jury and we have to keep them pristine.
Right.
Once the trial's over, it's a mistrial. That's what they do. Prosecutors, if you win a case, prosecutors take jurors out for drinks and shit.
Do they really?
Fuck yeah. That homicide book they're talking about.
Really?
They convicted this cop.
You mean homicide?
Yeah, homicide that Jimmy put in there. Or the less offensive version, homicide. That was a great typo.
Unbelievable.
On Twitter
That's
there.
what happens when you drive home after recording and
someone asks you a
try to
question.
handle shit so that James doesn't have to.
Stop doing that. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Somebody asked, what's the David Simon book? Or no, what's the book about
about homicide?
Right.
They even spelled homicide right there for you.
And I wrote, it's called homicide.
It's called homicide. Yeah. That's awesome.
Fuck you, QWERTY keyboard, for putting those two letters so close. And why wouldn't wouldn't it get fixed? Why would it allow me to write homicide?
Because you put a capital letter.
Yeah.
That's why. You made it a
is?
proper. Yeah, that could be the name of something. You made it a proper.
I don't know.
Either that or you type it often and your phone is. Jimmy, what are you up to? I've never known you to dislike gay people. What's going on, Jimmy? This is.
So I dislike them so much, James, that I encourage.
You've coined a term. And used it so much your phone has recognized it now. Jesus, Jimmy, we got to refigure out our working relationship here. I can't be associated with homophobia of this nature.
Unbelievable.
So in that book, though, in the homicide book, they talk about how this cop killer, a guy who was convicted of shooting and blinding a cop. Yeah. Afterwards, they took a few of the jurors out because they convicted this person. So the cops took them out for beers afterwards.
I had no idea.
To talk about them, and they just a probe to say, what were you thinking with this?
Right.
How close were you to not voting this way?
Smart.
What was the feeling in the room?
Yeah.
And I think it helps lawyers figure out a little more into the jurors' psyches here.
And their strategy for later.
Yeah, and there's nothing improper about this because those jurors are done. They're not going to be back. No. That would, the fact that you were a juror on the first trial would disqualify you from being on the second trial. So it doesn't matter.
It was a mistrial anyway. You wouldn't want those guys.
No, they can't do shit. No. So September 2012, she takes it all the way to the Supreme Court of Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana Supreme Court, and they tell her, go fuck yourself. We don't want to hear your bullshit. They decline to hear her case and end her hopes of a shorter sentence, and she is stuck. There's several women channel shows on this lady and a couple of books I read. Jesus. One was super cheesy, and another one I didn't read because it was $438.99 for the paperback.
Oh, the fucking balls.
I guarantee you they have no other information that I didn't get out of court documents, newspaper clippings, other books, and everything else. God, I guarantee you.
What's more arrogant, charging that or naming this place Peru?
Yeah, one of the two. Fuck. In Miami County. Yeah. Well, throw that in the hat, too. Now, 2016, there's another lawsuit involving Susan. This has nothing to do with her conviction, though. This has to do with her tits.
Okay.
This is a boob lawsuit. She apparently had breast implants in the early 1990s.
Yes.
And while she's in prison, one of them broke and deflated. Yeah. Now, she's in prison for murder, so you would think they'd just go, guess one of your tits is deflated now, and shrug and be like, go fuck yourself. They gave her a new tit. They installed a new boob.
Wow.
Which is crazy. You would think they'd be like, well, I guess we'll take the other one out or fuck you. Like, instead, they gave her another boob. So I was like, okay.
Earn a new nickname in prison. They are going to call you Cyclops forever.
Fuck yeah.
At least the next 40 years.
So instead she did it, and they gave it to her, and then she sued them over it.
Asshole.
She sues the prison. She sues the Horizon Medical, which is a company that provides the care in the prison. Dr. Hinchman, a Nurse Murphy, a bunch of guards, all sorts of people who failed to take her complaint seriously because they made the skin too tight on the new one.
Fuck you.
And literally, when she sleeps on one side, she has pain associated with it.
I'm hearing none of it.
The judge said, go fuck yourself. You're in prison and you got a free tit. Shut up. What are you talking about, you idiot?
At least you have one tight titty.
Yeah, have that.
Enjoy life.
Plenty of people in this town that would kill for that. And then, here's my gavel. And that was the end of it. Fuck out of here with that shit. Jesus Christ.
The judge probably said it.
Yeah.
You should see my wife's tits. At least you got one good one.
At least you got one. Clack, clack. Get out of my courtroom. Her son, or James's son, David, who was accused of this and everything else, he went on to be an attorney for many years in Peru and is currently a judge in Peru, Indiana.
I love it.
And people who have been in his court, the general consensus about him is that he is, quote, a really nice judge.
Oh.
So good for him.
Yeah.
He didn't even get bitter.
He figured it out.
He did. Susan, on the other hand, is rotting away in prison. She has a Twitter where she says that she's wrongfully convicted and to 60 years in prison. And this is her life. This is going to be her story of that, and she's tweeted twice. Once was hello Twitter, and the other one was going into her private dorm has really lowered her stress level, and then never tweeted again.
Maybe, you know what? That dorm room has really alleviated her problems, and she doesn't even need a Twitter
now.
She's
fine. Now she doesn't. Yeah, that's true. She's all relaxed. She doesn't need to vent.
Hope she checks it soon because she's about to get a tweet.
Probably.
Show me that tight titty.
Yeah, I would say so. Let me see it. Come on now. Now, people who've been in prison with her, not only the inmates, the guards, say that she still acts like a beauty queen and that she can't be housed with the general population because everyone can't wait to kick the shit out of her because she's an asshole. Yeah. She's in the Rockville Correctional Facility in Indiana.
Great.
And that is Peru, Indiana.
Wow.
And that is the story of two unlikely people, I would say, hooking up and bad things happening from it.
What a ride.
What a fucking ride. That was crazy. Yes, if you like that show, I have an idea of how you can tell us about it. You can tell the world about it by going to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, that purple icon, or as a matter of fact, wherever you listen to podcasts, they all have a rating system and it all counts in their ranking. So if you could give us 5 stars, tell us you're following, whatever, just tell us we like this show. Doesn't matter. It's not for our damn ego. It's just for, business purposes. That would be greatly appreciated. Beyond that, you can find links to all that sort of thing right over there at shutupandgivememurder.com,
right,
where you can find links to our merchandise. You can find links to the couple remaining live shows we have on the books right now. One is January 25th at the Neptune in Seattle. We'll be there.
That's going to be great.
Makeup show for that rescheduled one. If you have tickets already, you don't need to get new ones. You can take them right there and hand them to the box office and walk on in there. If not, buy them now. Also, February 21st, West Palm Beach, Florida at the West Palm Improv. And that's a really nice club. Come there. That's going to be a great place to watch a show.
Pack it up, Florida.
Pack it up. Yeah, man, we've been offered a couple different Florida things. We're kind of using this as a litmus test to see how we sell there. So, man, you guys pack that up. We'll be back to Florida.
You betcha.
Quicker than you know it in a couple different places. So, do all of that. Check that out. Get the merchandise. Get your T-shirts. Get everything. Also, if you want to be a hero to the show, well, first let's do social media. Then we'll talk about the heroes. If you want to follow the show, very easy to do, and you can find these links over at our website, shutupandgivememurder.com. You can find us at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, and at Small Town Pod on Facebook. And if you want to be our superstar hero, goddamn people that we worship, one of our producers who we're going to talk about in a second here, you can do that very, very easily by following the link in our website or just going over to patreon.com/crimeandsports or going over to PayPal and using our email address crimeandsports@gmail.com to make a one-time donation. And Jimmy, I know you have a list here of these wonderful, fine people that we could not live without. Please, Jimmy, hit me with it like a 9mm to the forehead. I need it now. Throw down.
Our executive producers this week are Emmy Dumont, Susan Olgis, Shanna Ho, or Hoff, or Hug.
Go with Huff on that.
Corey Rumpf, the color chick. We met her this weekend.
Yeah, we did. We met a lot of people. Thank you, guys.
I forget where she was at. Was it Detroit? It may have been.
It's all blended together.
I can't remember.
I don't remember where
Candace Kennedy, she's terrific. Thank you. Bridget Lawless donated twice. Thank you so much. Both ways possible.
Wow.
Carrie Clark.
That sounded dirty, Jimmy.
Carrie Clark sent us a very sizable donation saying Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much for that.
So much.
We appreciate it.
Lonnie Hall, Jordan Bennett. I called her Barrett last time.
You fucked that all
I'm
up.
sorry. And she did it twice this week.
Thank you
so much, Jordan.
Jessica
Valorin, yes, or Valorini. Valorini? It could be Italian.
Jesse Valorini. How you
possible.
doing?
Yeah.
How you doing, sweetheart?
Carol Braun, Chrissy Ann Castaldi, E-Bitch from P-Town. That's
cool.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I wouldn't
bitching
call
on.
That. Yeah.
Keep bitching. We love it.
Lisa Jensen donated twice. Thank you. Christian Collins, Eric Marburger, Mike Koziella, Eric Hayadashi. No, Erica Hayadashi. Hayashidi. God,
you messed that all up. The wrong.
I really fucked it. Sorry. Tom Carolan Brooks. Yes. Charlene Ramier. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for what you've done for us this week.
Thank you.
James, the other producers are James Stokely, Darren Mihal, Steve Chanel, and PA. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, thank you, man.
Jazine
Good to see you again.
Jazine Goting or Gotting. It's 2 T's, though.
2 T's.
Is it goading? It's a different language, too, because it has umlauts.
Oh, Jesus,
yeah. It has some dots and shit.
Thank you, umlaut, man.
Dots and shit. Josh Wilson.
I got some dots. Josh Wilson, sorry.
Bill Szynski, Under the Sea Fabrics, Carla Broman, Stacy Langto, Justin Miller, Allison Barron, or Baron, Lorenda Lieber, Tyler Williford, Janice Hill, David S. Steele, Estelle.
Oh.
Estel.
Jesus.
Megan McKinney.
Oh.
Rachel Misenheimer, Andrea Samples, and she sent it for Amy Henderson. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Malt Dietrich. Matt.
I
called him Malt
again.
before.
Yeah.
And I wrote Malt because
it's a joke.
Because I know who he is.
Now you know him, and we brought it up. I remember. So now
I read Matt and wrote Malt.
Unreal. Dude.
What the fuck is going on with my life?
We haven't slept.
Gary Howard, Meg Smith, Taylor Cadwallader, the genetic genealogist.
Oh my.
Justin LaFazia, Callie Johnson, Brett Kolb, Lauren Demarath, Susan Platt, Paul Ruest, Sarah Carter, Gary Morgan, James Fraker, down there in L.A., right?
Hey, I think so.
I think it was L.A.
Oh, no.
Amy Davis, or Daves. Shit, did I write
Davies?
that wrong? Douse. It's
Douse.
Daus. That's what I do.
Good save, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's Jimmy Davis.
Cool.
Brendan Abels.
Hey, yeah,
Detroit,
man.
right?
Nice to meet you, Brendan. Thank you for everything you do, buddy. It was definitely Detroit. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Michelle Terry, topography. I almost said topography.
She does topography.
Right. Martina Liwalonga.
Hey, Martina, we love you up in San
Jason
Francisco.
Fuller, of course.
Jay Full, nice seeing you again.
Pleasure, my friend.
Pleasure seeing you and your family there in Detroit. We had a great time hanging out with you.
Thanks for being there.
Definitely.
Jesse Hartman, again, he donated. Thank you, Jesse. Beth Charlton, Rachel Stora, Patricia Wassel, Ashley Vio, Amanda Burrigan. Mark Lanus. Oh, that's tough.
That's tempting.
That's a brutal
Sorry,
one.
brother.
Meredith Rogers, Sydney Oaks, Cody Leversey. That's the guy that brought us those cups.
Oh, thank you.
That was Detroit also. Yes, it was.
Yes. Thank you
Cody.
so much.
Misty Keene, Savannah Reinhardt, Heather with no last name, April Rush, John Rogers, Heather Newton, Trey Volcanar. One Credit Classics. That's a podcast it's a YouTube channel.
Cool.
He beats video games with 1 credit.
Oh, that's awesome. Incredible. That's pretty impressive. My son would love that.
Yeah. And that's basically what it's for, for people to watch him how to fucking do it.
My son watches video games.
Yeah,
so
mine does.
It's ridiculous.
Mine
That's
does
what they do now.
Pierce DeCory, Owlette, Katie White, Liz Vasquez, Caitlin Allnut, Daniel McDonald, Jessica Nottingham, Dove Harper. God, this one too. Madalena Maria Neva, Benevento, Knight.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a lot of Spanish.
Sounds like opera. I love that shit.
Maura Corbett, Susie Platt, Jonas Astrom, Bill McClellan, Lindsay Carmoni, Alexandra Reed, Matt Sled, Sharon Carter, Jennifer Mitz, Jane with no last name, Amy Conley, Alexis DeVries, Michelle Terry. She's a photography girl. She donated twice. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Michael Stoll, Jasmine Nicole, Tamsin Hunter, Jordan S., Renee McCulley Kelly, Bryn Fields, Brian Embry, Carissa Wilson, and Christopher Dobronsky. You guys fucking come through.
Thank you guys
all the
so
time
much
for us, and we can't do this without you. So thank you so much.
We really appreciate it, and everybody kind of say Merry Christmas. And that's amazing, guys. Thank you so much. We just appreciate that so much, and I don't know. We feel like we're part of your family, and you feel like you're part of our family when we get to meet you at these shows and put faces to names and everything. It's amazing. It really is. It's the best. It's the best part of the whole thing. We have a ball with that stuff. So thank you guys so much for doing that. I wondered if you wanted to tell Jimmy what you have a ball with him about. How could you do that?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks. WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Thank you guys so much. And send your stories to crimeandsports@gmail.com. I like hearing from you guys, and I like hearing about the stories, but there's only so many I can relay to James before I forget them.
We find some treasures out of that, though. We really do.
So send those to us at the email.
We've done a couple. We did one a couple weeks ago based on a listener request, and I went, that's a great case. I'm doing it. So thank you so much for that.
What about you?
If you want to send anything to me, you can do that. I'm at Jimmy P is funny, or copy and paste my last name from the first and last name from the show description, and don't try to spell it because you'll fuck it up. I fuck it up sometimes, and I've had it for a long time, so you'll mess it all up. Do that. Come see us each and every week. And by the way, show note, we will have a show next week. There will be a Small Town Murder.
Fuck yeah.
No Crime and Sports on Christmas Day, but Small Town Murder comes out 2 days after that. You guys are going to need something for that holiday. Come down, and we got a story for you. Let me tell you something.
Fantastic.
It's a wild one, so enjoy. Just put it this way: we're going to Florida, guys.
You betcha.
It's a Christmas present for the Small Town Murder listeners to go to Florida. Thank you so much, and until next week, everybody. It's been our pleasure.
Bye.